neighborhood. Call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was at a Hooter.
Comment said on Monday, you know it's the summer when we have Alex Barth on the night show, and that is, in fact, the case tonight. Alex Barth, I am not alone. George Balekji from Nesson is in alongside as well. Hello, George.
Hello, Barth. Back at it with you, man. I met Joe today, finally.
Yeah.
Awesome dude.
Great guy. You guys talking for like half an hour.
Well, we have very intertwining paths. I'll get into the details later in the show, but it is a very small world, I'll say the least. We share a very good, special, mutual friend.
I think Joe lives in a small world. Joe knows everybody.
And right away, when I told him I live in Wakefield, he's like, what's your favorite place to eat in Wakefield? I'm like, dude, you give me the Rex, because I know that's his
it's all, but that's the thing about Joe. Joe is a very curious guy in a good way, so he's not going to tell you what he thinks. He wants to know what you think because he collects opinions. He said this was his whole thing a couple years ago when he was going on and on about Bailey Zappi and is there a competition or not about, nobody else is saying there's a competition, but what if there's a competition? So we don't need to relive Zappi fever, but that's Joe's an inquisitive mind.
So he was like the brain trust behind Zappi fever becoming a thing?
He was a big driver because I think Skaz is here, so you do have some of the Joe show. Skaz here behind the glass. I think this might have been before you started, Skaz, that it was a weekend. It wasn't on nights. They were down live at a training camp practice, and he had Bailey Zappi on the show. And I think it was something along the lines of, like, Zappi told him in an answer, like, yeah, I'm out here competing. We're all out here competing, which is just kind of
camp talk.
Football talk for participating.
Yes.
But Joe took it because that's what Joe does, right? Oh, this might be a competition. So he's like, nobody's asking if it's a competition, so I'm going to be the one that asks if it's a competition. And it went from there. Him and Jim Murray, the two Murrays, did a lot to drive Zappi fever.
You know what? Respect to him. That thing was real. I hated it was entertaining.
Well, no, it was. Here was my biggest takeaway from Zappi fever. And people started, not so much Zappi fever, people started calling Zappi the Fever. And this is a take I've had for a while. The current state of nicknames in sports sucks. We are in a horrible place with nicknames. JD5, Jaden Daniels, SG3.
Everyone loves doing that.
Initials, and maybe you get a number, right?
Every player now is initials number. Every player.
Right? Or if you have like if your name's hyphenated or whatever, you get the 3 letters.
MHJ.
MHJ. Yes, exactly. We are in, and I mean, when we were growing up, you had the Truth, the Answer,
AD
Big Diesel.
all day.
Right. But his initials weren't AD.
It was AD.
Which made it better, but it was AD all day. Every day, Eddie Gordato, closer for the Minnesota Twins. I went to a Twins game when I was very young. I was confused when we left why Eddie Gordato didn't pitch because I was told he was Everyday Eddie. So we are in such a horrible place when it comes to sports nicknames. The Fever, great nickname. Great, especially for a quarterback.
For a backup quarterback that's 5'10", that went to Western Kentucky.
But
no, I saw Zappi at a Celtics game. I'm covering the Celtics game.
Well, he's around the Celtics, of course.
No. He was not around the Celtics. You know the elevators that are right by when you go to the press conference room? It's like where the VIPs enter.
Yeah.
So Bailey Zappi's entering. Elevator opens. I'm like, who's this like drunk high schooler? And it took 5 seconds. I'm like, that's Bailey Zappi. That is his stature. That's all I'm going to say.
He looks
I'm a short
smaller
king.
than
I'm
he's listed.
5'7", but he was not that big.
He looks smaller than he's listed. I'll give him 6'2". Because here's the thing. I can't believe we're doing Zappi. We're opening the show doing Zappi. We'll get into the Red Sox today. We will get into current Patriots.
This is what happens when you get me and Barth
We're going to do
together.
some Celtics. Bobby Krivitsky will join us at 8:20. But for a backup quarterback, especially coming out of the COVID pandemic, having a guy whose nickname was the Fever, like we don't have that now. What's the best nickname in Boston? I'll tell you who the best nickname in Boston sports is. It's the Password.
Yes, and he's down in
Josh
the minors.
Jason Garcia, right?
Good for you pronouncing that.
Did I get that, Josh Jason?
I don't know. I could pronounce any name. I don't even attempt the pass.
Or Josh Tinson. I know there's a 10 in there somewhere, but
to have that nickname with that ponytail.
Right. He's got the look. It's part of, like, I'm so hamstrung on my trade deadline takes because I don't want to trade him because I want the Password to get here. Because it's such a... Who else? Like Jason Tatum, JT, Jaylen Brown, JB, Derek White, D. White, Patriots. They don't really...
Kristaps Porzingis, KP. Christian Gonzalez.
So Tingus
Gonzo.
Pingus is a good nickname.
But no one called him that. Right?
No, enough people did. But that's an older one, right? The Bruins, Pasta. I guess
Pasta's great.
Pasta's a good one. It's in his name, but it's
fantastic.
It's taken on a life of its own.
And it's very him. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm Pasta. You're like a bowl of pasta.
So I'll give
You're
you
always happy to see
Pasta.
it.
What team were we missing? No, we did. Nobody really on the Crochet is like Big Pig or something
Christian
like that.
Campbell, Casey, Lou Merloni, the Pig.
The Pig.
He's just, his stuff is filthy.
No,
He's
it
like a pig
fits.
in the mud.
Okay, so that's a good one. I'll give you the Pig.
I call Crochet a moose. He's
more of a moose to me.
my co-host in the morning is Travis Thomas. He's a tall dude. I make everyone look big. I'm short. Garrett Crochet made my guy Trav look like he's 5'9". Garrett Crochet, you could have said that's a defensive end, a tight end. You could have told me he used to play offensive tackle. I'd believe it. That's how big he is. Moose.
So I'll give you Crochet, Big Pig. I'll give you the password. I'll give you Pasta. Yeah, Gonzo, I mean, that's fine. I've seen some people try to start Agent Zero. That's not terrible.
For Gonzalez?
Yeah.
No, Agent Zero is Gilbert Arenas.
That's the other thing. You get like these nicknames reused now.
And that's going to happen.
One I did like, so I don't know if you remember this. Jason Tatum, when he was in Summer League as a rookie, his number was 11. He wasn't 0 yet. So him and Jaylen Brown were 7-11.
That's a great
I was kind of bummed when he changed because, one, I love that 11's my number, and that's good for a duo.
Great nickname. Chris Hogan, 7-11, always open.
So, but there was a guy named Charles Johnson in the late 90s and early 2000s was the same thing, another receiver.
Hey, we got to get the callers to call in.
No, I was going to say.
Your favorite sports nicknames?
Or like, give us one now. If there's a player out there now that you think could have a better nickname than he does, or he doesn't have a nickname, or just your favorite sports nickname going back. Again, the truth. I always go back to the truth and the answer. I thought those are great nicknames, and especially if you know the story of how Paul Pierce got the nickname the Truth.
How do you get it?
The story. I actually don't know if this is true or not, but the long told story is Shaquille O'Neal, after playing the Celtics, I don't know if it was Pierce's rookie year or like second year, but he was young, and Shaq pulled a reporter aside and said, "I want you to write this down right now. Paul Pierce is the MF in Truth."
I think you're right.
That's how he became the Truth, which is awesome nickname, awesome way to get it.
Paul Pierce scored 42 points against the Los
that
Angeles
what it was?
Lakers in a 2001 game. Impressed by Pierce's performance, O'Neal reportedly told the Boston Reporter to quote him saying, "Paul Pierce is
the MF in Truth."
Bingo.
So the truth, the answer.
You got like one of the most dominant players to ever play in that league said, "No, that guy is a mother effing truth."
I'm trying to remember. There's so many other good ones.
That's a great nickname.
Randy Moss, the Freak. That's a good one.
Come on.
I was partial to Everyday Eddie Guardado. I like that. El Guapo, Rich Garces is another good. Relievers always have good. What was your favorite growing up? Your favorite athlete nickname?
Didn't grow up watching, but the say hey kid.
Okay.
Like that's just so smooth.
That's like an old time. Like, so then there's the old timey ones.
But then
like
you
the
said
Splendid Splinter.
But then you said it, the answer, Allen Iverson. I grew up a Georgetown fan because of AI. And then him to have the nickname, the answer, that's cold. When you're a scorer, you're the answer to every in-game situation. It's sick.
Skaz, you got a favorite sports nickname in there?
El Guapo definitely comes to mind.
El Guapo,
Rich Garces.
That was such a good one.
I'm trying to think of the Hit Dog was a great one. I love the Hit Dog. Yeah, Dirt Dogs. I feel like there's always a dog involved in some of these.
To fit him, I mean, Big Papi is
Big
one.
Papi's
That's
a good
one. There will never be another Big Papi. That is a one-of-one nickname.
I know one I loved. I was in college for this. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger.
Yes,
he takes it because there was that whole video.
Honey Badger don't give up.
The Honey Badger takes what it wants, and then that with his college mixtape.
That's how he played.
Excellent.
That's how he played.
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu with the Honey Badger. I'm trying to think of some college nicknames now.
So, by the way, Maz just texted me, Yo Stinson Garcia is the password. But I just want to call him the password because it's a great nickname.
The first time I heard it pronounced correctly was Maz.
Yeah.
During the Big Show, the 2 to 6. And I was like, oh, that's how you say it? Does not look anything like how it's pronounced.
It doesn't look like anything.
Maz
which is why it's a great nickname.
The password.
So you want to weigh in on that, 617-779-0985. I also want to start off talking Red Sox because they did play a game today. Finally, they are back from the All-Star break. maybe not the return everybody wanted. Again, we're going to get into Patriots later in the show. We'll have Bobby Krivitsky checking in from Celtics Summer League at 8:20. And you want to join us, 617-779-0985. I already see you guys lining up, so we'll get to you on the other side of this break. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
We went right off the rails as soon as we started. Best nicknames in sports. We didn't even get into our opening takes, which are presented by Super Service Today, Massachusetts' #1 provider for regional and for residential and commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning, day or night, always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com. Before we get to your calls, I see you guys lined up, 617-779-0985. My take is that the current state of sports nicknames sucks. So either if you have a favorite from the good old days or if you want to try to come up with a good one for a player now, again, 617-779-0985. But before we get to that, the Red Sox, George, returned from the All-Star break today. They lost 4-1 to the Chicago Cubs. Obviously, this team has had a ton of energy, a ton of juice, 10-game winning streak going into the break. Were you disappointed to see him come out flat today?
Yeah, my opening take is, can we once again reevaluate what was the foundation of that 10-game win streak? It was the Washington Nationals, who have an ownership group that is tanking, likely trying to sell, which is insane. And then it's the Colorado Rockies, who have ownership that I don't know what the heck they're doing. They're wasting one of the best ballparks in all of baseball.
Yeah.
But that's how they got those first 6 wins. And then in game 1, Taj Bradley, dealing for the Rays, gets pulled on 88 pitches. Cash, for whatever reason, hates seeing pitchers who are dealing go above 90 pitch count. We all know Blake Snell a few years ago in the postseason.
Yeah.
But that was a foundation. Cedane Rafaela's heroics with the bat. The terrific pitching that they got from their starting pitchers. The Red Sox were playing good baseball, but the first 6 wins were against the 2 worst teams and literally 2 of the 5 worst pitching staffs in totality in all Major League Baseball. And what did Lucas Giolito do? He didn't go the distance, and that's what the question is. So with all the rumors swelling, with everyone saying they want to go out and get that elite #2 arm, we were talking about the password. We don't want to see him get dealt. If that brings Joe Ryan to Boston,
sure, fine.
You do it.
But we have to come up with a hell of a nickname for Joe Ryan.
JR. That's what it's going to be.
Oh, no.
If he is wearing, Masataka Yoshida has 7. If he's wearing 7, JR 7.
Well, if Garrett Crochet is the big pig, you got to do something. Can we have like call him the barnyard rotation, right? Put that all together.
Joe Ryan's a rooster.
I'll simplify it for you. What you just said. The Red Sox were not the worst team on the field during the winning streak. And what I mean by that, I actually think they have a better roster than the Rays.
Yes.
But they were playing and managing more soundly than their opponents. And what happened today if Abraham Toro get caught leaning off second base on a flyout? So,
getting lost on that base path.
Right. I forget it. There was a misplay in the field.
Between Jaron Duran and Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
They lost the ball in the sun, but still. Bregman lost to Duran. You got to make that play.
Just not doing it was the basics. It was the basics. It was the fundamentals that got him again today. Mm-hmm. During the win streak, how many times did you look at it and say, ugh, there's another issue with fundamentals? There were a handful. I know they had one really sloppy game in Washington, but Washington was sloppier. You're playing the 3 first-place teams in the National League coming out of this break. You can't bank on getting sloppy baseball to help you out. You hope it's just one game, a little rusty coming out of the break, right? They come back out tomorrow motivated. Then you got Crochet going on Sunday. You're in good shape.
And
you hope it's that.
It's this stretch. Cubs, Phillies, Dodgers, Astros twice, the Royals in there, San Diego. That is, by August 13th, like that's the season. And it goes back to, we could talk about how good they're playing, what Alex Cora's doing right. Hey, look at the signings. And I give credit to Craig Breslow, Garrett Crochet, Aroldis Chapman, Alex Bregman. That's what he did this offseason, on top of other additions. Great job. But you need more. And you have to do it now because it's a Cubs, Phillies, Dodgers. Twins are going to sell. It's Astros, Royals, Padres, Astros. Come on.
They had the hardest schedule in baseball in the second half.
Yeah, they literally do.
They did. There's metrics that tell you, and when I'm using metrics, I'm serious because I hate analytics, but there's a number of different ways you can spin it that they have the toughest schedule. All the more reason, George, I'd like to see them get aggressive at the deadline in terms of the timeline. This is a pet peeve of mine. I've talked about it for a few weeks on this station. Whether it's July 31st in baseball, February 1st in hockey, March 1st in basketball, whatever it is, right? The NFL one doesn't matter. But that's the deadline means end. Deadline doesn't mean, okay, today's the deadline. Today we're going to put the work in. Teams that strike early at the deadline are usually rewarded because the players you're getting back, you get them for more games, especially when you have a stretch like this. I get it. Giolito's been better. how great would it have been if it was Joe Ryan starting that game today? Because the Red Sox swung a deal over the break. It's obviously too late for that, but if you trade for Joe Ryan tomorrow versus trading for him on July 30th or 31st, that's what, 2 or 3 more starts you're going to get out of him. You trade for a bat, and I think I'm kind of surprised, as focused as everybody is on the pitching, and I do agree they need another pitcher. I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been as much talk about them getting another bat, especially a right-handed bat, especially somebody that can play first base. And when you see the way Abraham Toro played today, all the more reason, you're going to get another, 50 at-bats out of that guy over 2-3 weeks? So I'd like to see them get aggressive. I'd like to see them strike sooner rather than later. If that means you have to pay a little more, so be it. Especially if you're getting a guy like Joe Ryan, who has team control, who's not just a rental, who's going to be a part of this thing long term. So I like to see him get aggressive. I don't know about you, George. Did the trade deadline flash in front of your eyes when you saw Jarren Duran hit that wall today? Which, hell of a catch. Credit to him. But he went full speed into that wall. That's a thin pad on bricks. And I'm thinking oh boy, they just lost their best trade chip. Because their prospect pool, when you take out Meyer and Anthony and Campbell, is not what it was. I know there's some interest. I've heard there's some interest, at least, in Peyton Tolle in terms of the reports. Or Peyton Toll, I think. Or is it Tolle, right? Tolle.
That's someone you can use next season. That's his ETA.
But so here's the thing. I'd be fine dealing Peyton Tolle if somebody's high on him. They just used 15 of their 21 draft picks on college pitchers. The pipeline's replenished. And you can't trade those guys. You can't trade guys the year you draft them. But get aggressive if that's what it takes, and I'd really like to see him strike early.
Especially Peyton Tolle, if you move him, and that's a Joe Ryan in return, who's 29, 2 years of arbitration remaining, that would be 3 years of team control between Garrett Crochet and Joe Ryan, your 1-2, along with Brian Bayo being under extension. It makes that rotation real. And Abraham Toro, if you go back to literally the 18th of last month, so almost a month going back, he is batting average 214. He was great for a while. He was great to start, and he's cooled off. He's making mistakes in the field. But literally go back a month. Today's July 18th. You go back to June 18th. His batting average is 214 over that stretch. They need that first base bat or the right-hand bat. Taylor Ward with the Angels plays left field, right-hand bat, 25 to 30 home runs. He could DH. You want to give Roman Anthony a night off, or you want Roman Anthony left, Taylor Ward DHs, or vice versa. But that coincides also with Jarren Duran. Yeah, when he went into that wall, great catch. When they cut to him and he was just standing there.
He was wincing a little bit.
And he's yoked, man. He's got a big barrier. He could take hits.
And he's a tough guy.
When he's slow to get up, you're like, oh, man.
That's not right. That's not a guy that's going to milk it. And I think he's their best trade chip. And I don't love the idea of trading him, but if it gets you Joe Ryan, or if it gets you Eugenio Suarez, I don't know if Arizona's going to sell, but
they will.
Josh
Naylor.
They're the corner out infielder, Josh Naylor. Yeah,
that's your first baseman.
If it gets you one of those guys, if moving Duran gets you one of those guys, I'm all for it. And then maybe you trade Tolle. Maybe then you trade Tolle for Ward to get that fourth outfielder back. You recoup him.
I want to keep it simple. Let's keep it one team to one team. Jarren Duran, Peyton Tolle, other prospects. You could get a Josh Naylor and a Zach Gallen in return, and that's postseason starts, and that's a good first base bat.
That's not bad.
It wouldn't be that simple, but maybe
I'd rather get Joe Ryan.
No, 1,000%.
And then go out and you can find I'd like to see him get a middle of the order right-handed bat. If you can just get a first baseman, I'm dating myself here. If you can get a Doug Menkiewicz, as long as you get, just a guy who's going to go out there, start, play first, not screw up, doesn't need to be the best player on the team. If you bring in a guy like Joe Ryan and then maybe a pitcher, a reliever too,
yeah,
and then it's just, all right, we're going to trade our fifth or sixth best prospect for this rental first baseman.
Yeah.
Didn't they trade for Adam LaRoche at the deadline one year?
Yes.
And that was fine. JT Snow, right? Just go trade for one of those guys. Just somebody who can play capable first base, is going to hit 250. I could live with that.
I mean, Kyle Schwarber. That was a trade deadline acquisition in 2021. They taught him the position on the
So
fly.
that's what I don't want them to do.
Wasn't beautiful.
That's what I don't want. As much as I liked Kyle Schwarber,
It was that
great.
bat. I need
get
the
a real
bat.
first baseman.
I need the bat. Yes, get a real
I need
first
the bat, but get a if you're going to teach a third baseman to play first, that's one thing. Schwarber, and he was coming off an injury. I wouldn't go that far, but Suarez I think he's played a little bit of first base in his career.
He's a good fielder, good bat too.
And he is, yeah. He is. A guy like that would make some sense to me. But I want to see them add a corner outfielder, but I don't want to see them do it on July 30th or July 31st.
You can do it now.
I want to see them do it now.
To your point, hey, July 31st is the trade deadline. Talking to everyone in Major League Baseball. That doesn't mean you have to do it that
Right.
day.
There was a move, and I don't remember the pitcher. I tell this story all the time, and I wish I could remember the pitcher's name. But it was a couple years ago. The Braves were kind of what the Red Sox were right now. They were like competing for a wild card spot, and they struck early. First week in July, they traded for a starting pitcher, and you know what happened? They sucked. They had a really bad July. So what'd they do? They traded that pitcher away at the deadline. They sold. They sold, and they recouped what they lost. So now the Red Sox should not be selling. But if you realize this guy's not going to work out, and you wouldn't do it with a guy like Joe Ryan, but you give up a mid-tier prospect for rental first baseman, he's not working out, or you end up back at 500, you flip him. But the Red Sox, they're not in a position where they should be selling at all. So at this point, that part of the story should be irrelevant.
That's where, and they need to add to this team. They're still in it. They're still in that second wild card spot. And that's where the sense of urgency has to go. We were talking about it with Maz between his baseball hour wrapping up and us getting on the set. And I was like, so the super pen, like that's a real conversation. He's like, oh yeah. No. You need solid pitching. You need a solid number 2. We saw Brian Bale last season get 30 starts. We saw him be a full season workhorse. Lucas Giolito, I have faith he can bounce back. I mean, it's not like there's being locked in. You don't have the rest, all of that. But he found something. He was throwing his stuff, and he was throwing gas. He wasn't going breaking balls. He was going four seam. Nothing that has to do with the sweeper, and he was fantastic. He could get back to being a number 3. Garrett Crochet, we haven't seen him do a full season, let alone be the ace. Tons of innings pitched, late in game, give a big workload. They need that number 2. Super pen, for a team that we're saying add to the bullpen, there's no way that has to be there's no way that should be an actual solution.
No, I'm not a fan of the super pen, and it also puts more like Alex Cora's management of the bullpen has been up and down this year. So super pen puts a lot more on the manager. You want to call in and weigh on that? 617-779-0985. We do have a open phone line, just one, because you guys want to talk, Red Sox and best nicknames in sports. We're getting into that, too. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji on the Sports Hub. To your calls right after this.
Essentials.
point to Carlos Correa.
Not a bad place to start, really.
Yeah. But
Just signed him and they want to unload it. That's not a bad idea by the caller, though.
I would take Vasquez back, especially to your point about the clubhouse. If they move Jaron Duran, like Jaron Duran's a popular guy in that clubhouse.
Exactly.
So I don't think it, completely, it's not a one-for-one replacement, but it maybe lessens the blow. Although, how many of these guys played with Christian Vasquez? It's not that many.
Story overlaps with him. It was Jaron Duran.
Jaron Duran, yeah. I mean, there's been
Brian
a lot of
Bayo,
roster turnover.
There's an overlap there. Connor Wong would be out of the picture in this scenario, too.
Yeah.
But at that point, if that's someone that adds to the clubhouse, and I think the most important thing with this team is you could pick up, they follow Bregman. And if Cora and Bregman are on the same page with movement, and if it's Duran out, Vasquez in, and Bregman embraces Vasquez, which I expect he would, then I think that trickles down to the rest of the clubhouse.
All right, best sports nickname. As I said, my take is we are in a complete and total dead period. Horrible. Sports nicknames have never been worse. It's all just initials and numbers. There's no creativity. I miss the days of the answer and the truth. So we've got some other people calling in with sports nicknames. I'm sure we missed some. David Norton, start us off here on this.
What's up, Arthur?
What's going on?
Two good ones, both from the game of golf. One, Craig Stadler, the Walrus.
Okay.
And number two, a man on the other side of the bag, Mike Cowan, a.k.a. Fluff.
Thanks for calling. I can't say I'm familiar with either of those.
Way over my head.
I'm guessing the Walrus, he must have had a mustache.
He was a larger gentleman that had a mustache,
Okay.
yes. His son also, similar build with a mustache, yes.
They call him Walrus Jr.?
Wait,
something like that.
It's not that he has a handlebar mustache. He literally looks like a walrus.
Yes,
Look at this.
yes.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's outstanding. Okay, great. Great nickname. Good call, Dave. I'm sorry I wasn't familiar. I should have been familiar. Great nickname, great mustache. Zach in New Hampshire. Zach.
Billy Butler was called Country Breakfast when he was playing.
That's another good one. Country. And then who is the center for the Grizzlies was Big Country. Is a good nickname.
He had like a jarhead haircut. How can we forget Bad Human but Juice? Come on, your nickname's the Juice.
Well, because his nickname was OJ. It was a nickname on a
that's
nickname.
Great. Juice is great. And then Dr. J.
Juice is a good one.
Dr. J.
It's a little initially. It's a little initial-ish.
Barth.
All right, that's a good one. And you know what? It was back before people got lazy about it. I'll give you that one. Bryant Reeves. So that's a good nickname. I couldn't even remember what Bryant Reeves' name was. But I knew Big Country.
And we both knew who he played for.
But we knew,
who he was.
I could picture him and all that. But I didn't even know his name.
You know what's great, too, actually?
Thought of another one. Birdman, Chris Anderson.
Birdman's good.
Yep.
White Chocolate, Jason Williams.
White Chocolate, great nickname.
Dude, one of the best players ever to play the game. And we know him by his first name, which is actually his nickname, Magic. His real name's Irvin Johnson.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one.
I
didn't even think of that. You're right, because it's so synonymous with his name.
Right?
So I will say this. Here's where I'll draw the line, because this is where I thought the caller was going when he brought up golf. Tiger Woods doesn't count. Like that, he was going. Well, no, his name's Eldrick.
Yeah, that's right.
But like he was going by Tiger from being a nickname you got growing up. Julio Jones. I think his real name's. I forget what his real name is. It's not even close to Julio. Maybe that's his middle name, but like that doesn't count. It's got to be a nickname you get as an athlete. It's got to be about you as an athlete. So just
Quintoris,
that's right.
Lopez Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Quintoris, what a name.
So those don't count here. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to have. You can have a nickname all you want. But I'm talking about like that. So we watched this guy play and decided he should be called this.
Do you think the Joker's lazy for Jokic?
It's okay.
I love it with him because the Joker's like, I just picture Heath Ledger, Dark Knight, obviously.
But that's so not Jokic because
But he's a killer.
He is, but the Joker's this like manic, crazy energy, and Jokic just looks bored.
But it's also, there's the chaos to it where he looks bored and it's so easy to him.
So the better one for me is like when they Bill Belichick, and we do coaches too. Some coaches have nicknames. Like Bill Belichick is like the Emperor. Although I'll say this, Tom Brady,
that's not a nickname.
Tom Brady got compared to different movie characters, and this wasn't a nickname. The GOAT is a good nickname, and that term is overused. You know who if we were going to compare Tom Brady to a movie character, who he is to me? Because people would compare him like Darth Vader, the Emperor, or whatever.
I was going to name a literal actor. I was going to go George Clooney.
Michael Myers. Because every time you think he's dead,
yep.
Every time you think you've stopped him, he'd come back bigger, better, more violent than before. Like the shot from one of the new Halloween trailers, I think it was the first one on the reboot, where they show him standing on the porch with the house behind him on fire with the chainsaw. That picture is the essence of Tom Brady. But we're not doing movie comparisons. We're doing nicknames. Alex in Sudbury. Alex.
Hey guys, this is only kind of related, but just kind of a cool story to watch. There's a guy named Brian Cusick. He's a kid. He pitched at Lincoln Sudbury High School. He was a first-round pick a couple years ago. He's been bounced around the minors. He's pitching in Worcester for the AAA affiliate for the Phillies next week. Just kind of a cool story. Wasn't sure if it was on your radar. And then obviously nicknames Big Birds and Cornette. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call, Alex. That's a good one. So Big
What's
Bird,
the nickname?
Luke Cornette, Big Bird.
Was Luke Cornette Big Bird?
I think I heard that a couple times. What else do we got
he moved
here?
like Big Bird, so that's like a fitting nickname.
Yeah. Thomas in Dedham. Thomas.
Hey, first the nickname, Sean Marion, the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's a good,
Good call.
good one.
If I had to pick a nickname, that's what I would want someone to give me.
Ugliest jump shot of all time, but man, that's a good nickname. Good call.
Love the nickname. And then in terms of Red Sox, earlier caller stole my thunder around hating Connor Wong, but follow up, what do you think Walker Buehler would do with a move to the bullpen? I'll hang up. Thanks.
That's an interesting question to ask, because what I do give a lot of credit to Walker Buehler is, like, everyone in the world knows he's lost and he doesn't deny it. And he said, he's like, look, I'm a starting pitcher, but if they want me to go to that role, I'll do it. Whatever gets us to win. And this is a guy that's on a 1-year, $21 million deal. He could tell anyone in the world to F off. He could get DFA'd and go be a starting pitcher elsewhere if he has that ego, and he doesn't. With him going to the pen, if that would be him being a long-term out-getter, and he can go and give you, let's say, 6 innings, you put him on in the second or third, and he gets you 5 good innings. He gets you 5 good, and that gives you a day. I'm not going to say the super pen term. I'm not going to buy into that.
Don't use that.
But that's a break glass in case of emergency. You're stretched thin. You need someone. Or if your starter goes 5 and he brings you home and gets you to the 9th and Chapman takes over, I wouldn't hate it, because at this point, if you want to experiment and try and put out a super pen, which is insane, why would you not try first to experiment Walker Buehler to the pen and see how he can add to that?
And he's done it before. He has that experience. I would do that before DFAing him.
I don't want to DFA. Exactly.
Right. I might not give him the longest leash out there, but I would try him in the bullpen. But part of that is you got to acquire this pitcher at the deadline. I do want to get a little more into that super pen idea. We'll do that on the other side. Plus, we'll keep going. You guys keep calling. We'll keep going to your phone, 617-779-0985. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
I'm sure other people screaming in their cars. Kevin Garnett, the big ticket. That's an all-timer.
I could have sworn you said that.
I don't think I did.
You said to answer the truth. I thought you said big ticket.
No, I said
that's a great one.
Big Diesel with Shaq.
Yeah, that's okay.
I know he was Superman too. I like Big Diesel better.
Big Diesel's better.
Because a couple different people have been Superman. But encore real quick on the bullpen. So you brought up the super pen before. Here's what makes me nervous about the super pen. On top of it being a little bit of a half measure, because the idea, this is about, if you missed it, Jared Carrabis was on the Baseball Hour earlier this week, was asked about Joe Ryan, and if they miss on him, what other starters they could get. And Carrabis dropped the super pen as a potential plan B, which would be, instead of adding a starter, loading up in the bullpen. So you really only need, your starting pitching's a little less, but you don't need them to do as much because you can go 4 or 5 innings out of the bullpen every night because you have all these arms. That lies on Cora managing the bullpen better. And I think Alex Cora has been a lot better than he was at the start of the season. The one area he maybe hasn't been as great as pitcher management. And so with the starter, I guess you do stuff to manage when he comes out of the game, but there's a lot less to manage with the starter than there is with the super pen. So it's an angle with the super pen thing I haven't heard talked about a lot, but you're really putting Alex Cora in the spotlight front and center if that's the strategy.
Where would those arms come from to form a super pen? Like Greg Weissert was running out of gas. Brendan Bernardino, I'm surprised both arms are still on his body. That's my thing too. So you're going to add, or you're going to bring guys up and you're going to do a super pen. Where are you getting it from? And then you're going to waste trade chips.
Well, you're going to go get probably 3 or 4 closers on teams that are out of it.
That's not a solution.
And Jared mentioned David Bednar, the Pirates, Ryan Helsley.
Yeah, with the Cardinals.
Yeah, Emmanuel Clase, if the Guardians decide they're out of it.
Cardinals, Red Sox, good luck getting a deal done with Chaim Bloom. Like, he's in St. Louis, and also that was someone that was known to hold on and clutch his pearls when it came to trade pieces.
With the prospects.
Yeah.
So if you're giving him a prospect,
okay.
He might be. I trust Craig Breslow more than I trust Chaim Bloom at the deadline.
1,000%. I'm just saying Chaim Bloom could be very petty. Like, I'm not getting a deal done with you guys. You fired me. But if you dangle one of his prospects, Blaze Jordan, in his face, he might give you the entire St. Louis Cardinals lineup.
Yeah,
Blaze Jordan.
Yeah. How about Cora being at that concert? How many famous people do you think were there that noticed that like 2 of
my family members were there?
Yeah. Did they see it?
Yes.
I can't remember her name. I apologize. The intern on Felger Match. She was there. She said she didn't see it, so she felt like she missed out because she didn't notice it.
My relatives saw it, and when it happened, they made the same joke. Coldplay obviously made it live, and it's funny. Like last. So
let me just jump in real quick. If you're not familiar with what we're talking about,
if you're not familiar, I don't know how you're not.
Congratulations, because you're not on the internet.
And I'm jealous of you.
I say you are on the internet a healthy amount. None of us are, but this is like the biggest thing on the internet the last 48 hours. The Coldplay concert, Gillette Wednesday night. They're showing shots of the crowd, and they show what appears to be a couple kind of canoodling. The guy had his arms wrapped around the woman. He's standing behind her. And that's a fine description, right?
They were cuddling.
They're cuddling. All right.
They're dancing, cuddling.
Yeah. They weren't even dancing. They were just standing there.
Canoodling was a
So
good
somebody made a game called Coldplay Canoodlers where you have to find them in the crowd. It's like a Where's Waldo.
Look,
that's why that was in my mind.
You're educating
which is a good game. I haven't been by my computer to play it. It doesn't work on the phone. But
yes, carry on.
Anyway, so when the camera goes to them, he literally ducks. Like he goes down behind the under wherever the camera shot was, and she turns around and she doesn't look back at the camera.
And the friend to the right, she's bright red.
So now they're saying that's not her friend. Now they're saying that was somebody else.
And she knew.
Well, she could have also just been reacting to what was happening because she's not in the shot at the beginning.
No, but she's sitting there and you see her smiling, laughing, but she's bright red.
Anyway,
she had to know.
Chris Martin goes, "What are you, in an affair?" So anyway, the clip gets on the internet. It goes viral. It turns out it's the CEO and head of HR, or the what was her technical term? Chief People Officer.
Yeah, that's the new term for human relations now.
This tech company called Astronomer. So it's been very viral, and I know everybody said it. Everybody's. What is that?
I haven't seen this meme.
Oh, that's a good one.
Bill Clinton with Monica Lewinsky.
There's been a lot of good memes. I have one in the holster for week 0, college football. I'm going to say when I should be focusing on Patriots training camp, but.
Is it you holding
No, it's just the picture, but then I'm going to tweet
yes.
when I should be focused on the end of Patriots training camp, but there's Western Kentucky, Sam Houston State, week 0 football on. Everybody, and the big take has been if they didn't react that way, nobody would know.
Which, wouldn't go viral.
Maz brought up a good point yesterday. You don't necessarily have time to think in that moment. You're just going to react. And they felt guilty, and they reacted like people who felt guilty.
Look at their faces.
So when I was scrolling, when I was scrolling like that morning when I woke up, and you do like the half awake scroll because again I'm on the internet too much, and I kind of saw the video. I didn't really read the caption. I saw it, and I'm like, and I just saw like Coldplay concert Gillette, and I'm like, was Bill Simmons at the Coldplay concert? Like, he looks like Bill Simmons, doesn't he?
Kevin Costner meets Bill Simmons.
Sure, good one.
Yeah.
What's worse, that or the head of the NFLPA getting caught putting a strip club visit on the team card, which was on the company card, which was in your headlines?
Fine, because I don't think that tears apart your family. The wife wants an explanation.
Well, losing, maybe not directly, but you lose your job. That's not going to make things easy.
He
at
works
home.
at a firm. He's okay. Like,
he has other jobs. Fair enough.
Exactly. A guy like that has a network. Like you get that high up. It's like NHL head coaches. You get fired, you have a job within 2 days because it's retread. This one is worse because it's the public embarrassment your kids have to deal with, your spouse, if they're in the middle of a divorce or not, whoever, your friends. And then I point out the lady that was bright red. By affiliation, that lady's guilty.
So she's going to be the one that talks first. That's my prediction. And it might not be for a bit, but we're going to hear from all of them eventually. Because in this stupid media climate we have, the two of them are going to get a podcast, and it's going to be what getting caught at the Coldplay concert taught us about business-to-business sales. Well, that's what's so funny to me about this, and I've never worked a corporate job. I'm very lucky in that regard. Mm-hmm. Nothing against anybody who has. If you love it, great. It's just not for me. I realized that at a young age. It's all so corporate, and that's funny to me. Like, the fact it's being played out on LinkedIn. They're all in her like LinkedIn comments and stuff.
No.
Oh, have you not seen this? Apparently they're all replying to like her LinkedIn.
Wow.
With stuff about it. And so like I have friends who obviously work like very corporate jobs, and I have one friend we joke is like overly corporate.
Just like the people that do all the posts all the time. Like they treat LinkedIn like it's like Instagram.
Yeah. And like, the people who like get really into going to like the company retreat, which again, I have nothing wrong with, but it's very that corporate culture.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, some of the jokes with that, again, like what this taught me about business-to-business sales, that sort of thing.
It's one of those things. It was my same take when the alleged drugs that Stephon Diggs had on him on the boat. Doctors, lawyers, whoever, they do that too. Like people do that on their own time. So same thing with this of like, yes, ethically wrong, but is that just happening there? No. What were these people doing was what I bet you a bunch of other people in that stadium are doing.
You think
they got caught?
You think there's multiple people being like, yeah, I'm gonna take my side piece to the Coldplay concert?
Yes.
That's a wild concert to go to for that.
Yeah, that's a thing too.
I saw my favorite tweet.
Like a lot of people there, but I'm just saying.
My favorite tweet I saw in all of it was like he had his girlfriend on the side at a Coldplay concert. He had his arms fully wrapped around her during a Coldplay concert. Love isn't dead. He might be, but love isn't dead. What's the other thing I saw? Remind me your fiance's name again. I'm sorry.
Silvana.
Do you guys have a couple's costume yet for Halloween?
No.
This is going to go triple platinum as a couple's costume at Halloween.
I was like, where is this
If you need an idea, there you go.
That's great. We were George Clooney and his wife because she's Lebanese and we actually kind of look like them, but that's...
George thinks he looks like George Clooney. That's very humble of you.
I'm a much uglier version, trust me. But I sprayed.
In college, I did Tom Brady and Giselle one year.
There you go.
Costume,
you
so
look just like TV12.
I wore the
human part
palm hat. And
I just have to say, like, I can only imagine Coldplay. That's a performance. I don't listen to Coldplay when they come on. I'll keep it on. Great musicians. That concert's an experience. That's not going to live music. That's an experience. I don't care what your favorite music is. It could be the most hardcore, dubstep, techno. It could be rap. Go to Coldplay. You'll love it. To be with your person, that's what they are. I was going to say significant other, technically not.
No, that's so funny.
The highs of being at a Coldplay concert, experiencing that song live, cuddling with the person you love, has to be amazing. And then it goes to that.
This, the level of content on his face, really on both their faces.
They were on cloud
when they
nine.
first cut to him. He's been probably waiting all summer for this night. He's been looking forward to it. They probably went out to dinner before. They were probably doing something after. His whole wonderful time plan in his head. Right at the apex of it. He's feeling great. boom, here comes Chris Martin to ruin it. We're going to get back to your phone calls because you're still lined up with the sports nicknames. George is going to get you caught up first with the headlines. 90 seconds, no commercials, right back here on the Sports Hub.
From the Tucker Tire Studios, WBZ FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
George Balekji here with your Sports Hub headlines. The Red Sox 10-game win streak is gone after a 4-1 loss to the Cubs to open up the second half of the season. Lucas Giolito went 5 1/3. In the first 3 batters he faced in the game, walk, home run. Final score again, 4-1. The Sox' lone RBI was thanks to a double by the rookie Roman Anthony. Game 2 of the series is tomorrow night at 7:15. Brian Bayo over Shota Imanaga. And according to Adam Schefter, Patriots reached an agreement on a fully guaranteed deal with second-round pick Travion Henderson. The Patriots' entire 2025 rookie class is now under contract when training camp will be kicking off on Wednesday. And the head of the NFLPA, Lloyd Howell, resigned last night after an audit discovered Howell expensed 2 separate strip club visits on the Players Association. Once to Tootsie's and again in February at Magic City in Atlanta, and he wasn't getting any wings. He had taken out over $2,400 in cash withdrawals, ranging from $200 to $525 from a club ATM. Sources and documents showed they used 2 VIP rooms, and according to the expense report, the purpose of the strip club outing was, and I quote, player engagement event to support and grow our union. Round 2 of the Open wrapped up today. Scotty Scheffler has a 1-stroke lead for first place at 10 under. Matt Fitzpatrick, Brian Harman round out the top 3. And the New England Revolution are back on the pitch tomorrow night facing Orlando. Match starts at 7:30 p.m. Catch all the action right here on the Sports Hub. This Sports Hub headlines was brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does it sound like you? Visit catcheslaw.com. I'm George Balekji on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Alex Barth and George Balekji in for Joe Murray. Hour 2 here getting underway. We will have Bobby Krivitsky coming up at 8:20. Talk little Celtics Summer League. We'll get his favorite sports nickname as well. This is a good song. So in the aftermath of this, I'm driving home yesterday. I was stuck in traffic. I had like an hour 10 drive home. It's like, you know what? I'll put on some Coldplay. I'll live in the moment. I forgot how many like good songs Coldplay had back in the day. And it is kind of background music. But like Viva La Vida back in the day, like you'd put that on. That was a fun song to listen to. Oh yeah. What's the other? There's Clocks. I remember learning how to play Clocks on the piano when I was in middle school.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I took a guitar class one semester at Seton Hall. My final exam was Brown Eyed Girl. Gotta be. I'll take it.
I regret
credit and I passed.
Not learning how to play guitar at a younger age. But that's a story for another time. We're talking best sports nicknames because that kind of came up because we were talking Bailey Zappi off the top of the show, the FIVA. And that kind of came out of nowhere. But a lot of you have been hanging on patiently with your favorite sports nicknames. We'll start with Harvey in the car. Harvey.
Hey, I've got 2 for you.
Okay.
Rogers Hornsby, the Raja, and then Ty Cobb, the Georgia Peach.
The Georgia
So
Peach.
those old-timey ones are fun. They're a little different, but they're fun. I got one more I forgot about, and this is an all-timer. And he's since passed, but the Hefty Lefty.
Yep.
The Pillsbury Throw Boy.
Mm-hmm.
The Abominable Throw Man. He ate me. Jared Lorenzen, University of Kentucky legend. That the round-mounded touchdown. That's an all-timer. And He Ate Me is a nod to another very famous nickname.
He Hate Me.
Who was it? You remember his name?
No.
Rod Smart. Do you remember what XFL team he played for?
No.
Vegas.
There we go. That's
He Hate
me on Vegas.
He
But see, again,
played in a Super Bowl against Patriots with the Panthers.
I forget who Rod Smart was, but I'll always remember there's
Everybody knows He Hate Me.
Was on the back of the jersey, which is the toughest look ever.
Because the XFL had that. You could have nicknames on the back, and Brilliant. He Hate Me was like the famous one. Robbie in the car. Robbie.
Hey, I got 2 for you. Arguably one of my favorite players, Bob Sanders, the Eraser.
Oh,
and
great.
Doug Martin, Muscle Hamster.
Those are, Robbie, great call. First of all, Bob Sanders, underrated player. Also, shout out John Boyce, the last professional athlete named Bob, not Bobby, Bob. Don't call me with Bobby Dahlbeck. But also great player, couldn't stay healthy. And then I still
It was the way he played, though. He was so undersized the way he played.
Just so aggressive.
Yeah, he was amazing.
And I still use muscle hamster as a reference. Like, I use that during the draft all the time.
Yeah.
When he's built, he's muscle hamster. That was another great nickname. I use that all the time.
I have a core memory. Monday Night Football. It was Bears-Colts. The Colts had the worst rush defense in the NFL when Bob Sanders was out, and everyone was picking the Bears to beat the Colts in that setting. I forget if Bob Sanders played or not in that game, but the Colts won, upset him. Bears couldn't do anything on offense. It was Rex Grossman.
617-779-0985. You want to chip in on the best sports nicknames? Because, again, my thesis in this is that the state of sports nicknames now is worse than it's ever been. It's all just initials and jersey numbers.
The one I told you during the break, BTJ.
Right, BTJ, MHJ, SG3, whatever. There were some with SGA and with Tyrese Halliburton during the finals that were good, that were a little more off the air. But
SGA being SGA is fine. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. The Halliburton memes you're referring to?
Yeah.
That was clever.
There's some good off the air ones, but it's not what it used to be. Think all these names we've been naming for the last hour are guys that have been retired. Not just recently retired, have been retired.
Another good one.
So we need to get back to it.
The logo. Jerry West.
Great one.
The great one. The great one.
The great one.
Wayne Gretzky. The fact that your nickname is the great one.
How about the kid? Ken Griffey Jr.
Sid the Kid, too.
I got some other ones on Twitter. Big Hurt's a good one.
Yes.
Big Unit Randy Johnson's a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to tweet them at us, at Real Alex Barth and at George Balekji.
Who's the greatest wide receiver of all time, in your opinion?
Rice and then Moss.
Okay.
I give
who do you put 3?
Some reference there. So 3 is where it opens up. I think you can make an argument for Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
Stop. What's his?
Yes, Megatron's a great one. That's a great one.
I think Calvin Johnson's the greatest wide receiver of all time.
You think he's the greatest?
I watched him. Obviously, I didn't watch Jerry Rice in his peak. He is one of the most dominant athletes I've ever seen play.
When I have those conversations, and maybe this is me being biased as a Tom Brady fan, I give a ton of value to longevity. And when you look at how long Rice did it for,
yes,
that's like Moss at his peak. There's never been a more talented wide receiver than Randy Moss.
Yep.
But I give Rice credit for his. If you want to tell me it's Randy Moss, I'm not going to disagree with you. The way I score it, I give points for longevity.
Also, another one, Giannis, the Greek Freak.
The Greek Freak's a good one. Out of necessity, because nobody could pronounce his name. Gary in Marblehead. Gary, what do you got?
What's up, fellas? Hey, George, have you been to the Cape yet?
No, I will never go. Gary, I will never go.
No, we figured this out. You're going to take the train down and bum a ride off a friend.
That's what it'll be. Someone picks me up. Is this Gary again? Same Gary?
Yeah, same guy.
Love it.
Same Gary, yeah. Listen, I think you get bonus points when you get players who hate their nickname. And I was going to say Muscle Hamster, but my backup is the Slim Reaper for KD. That's an all-timer for me.
Does he not like that? I've never heard that before. He doesn't like that?
He did not like it, no.
He doesn't like anything
That's
that
a good one.
anyone
Thanks
has
for the call,
to say
Gary.
about him. Gary, that was great. Great call,
you know who didn't
still
like
not
their
going to Cape.
nickname was Joe Milton. Did not like Bazooka Joe. And the reason he didn't like it, somebody had this quote somewhere. I think it was at the Senior Bowl. Because a bazooka can only go so far.
Come on. That's great.
Well, so I came up with a better one. Me and Evan Lazar on the Catch-22 podcast, we started calling him the Manhattan Project because they weren't letting him throw at practice. And our theory was like, what if they don't want another Zappy Fever situation where he takes over?
Yeah.
And then he came out in that first preseason game and had that great drive.
Yeah.
And this was when Oppenheimer had just come out.
Yeah.
So that shot of him, in the last scene where he's like, what did I do? I was like, that's Alex Van Pelt now that people have seen Joe Milton.
What have I done?
So we were calling him the Manhattan Project, which I think it didn't catch on, but I think is a great nickname. It did catch on a little bit. I think somebody called into our show and said they named their fantasy team after him.
Another one that goes with their tail behind him, Karl Malone, the mailman. He always delivers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Awful human being, the mailman.
It's a good nickname. No, it's a good nickname. Brian in Foxborough. Brian.
Yeah, I have two for you. One is the Skywalker, David Thompson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second one is the Hawk, which is Connie Hawkins.
I'm not familiar with either of those.
Me neither. I just like the first nickname.
It makes sense.
The Hawk's fine. If we go, we're sticking modern, but now broken up.
Yeah.
If we go with duos, Splash Brothers.
So there's
Steph and Clay.
been some better duo ones. Honestly, is going to upset Patriots fans. Boogeyman was a really good nickname for a defense. Okay. Yes, the defense completely fell apart in the second half of the year. Mm-hmm. But Boogeyman was an objectively good nickname for a defense. I'm sorry. It was. even if that didn't work out. The Homeland Defense, the early 2000s was another good one. Greatest Show on Turf. If we want to get a
show on turf, I'll go back to individuals. Cadillac Williams.
Oh, that was a great one, and that was like synonymous.
He was referred to as I forget it was Carnell.
Carnell. I was going to say I don't even know if I give his first name. Cadillac Williams, a good one. Tom and Beverly. Tom.
Hey, I got two.
Everybody is two. This
big
is great.
unit from me.
Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
But Bartolo Colon, Big Sexy.
I was just thinking that. Great one.
We got to El Guapo, but we didn't get to Big Sexy.
And then Brian Scalabrine, White Mamba.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one.
And then finally, a shout out to my man Kyle Sakara down at the Free Jacks. He is known as the Eagle.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. Thanks for the call, Tom. The Eagle.
White Mamba, also Diana Taurasi, too.
You know what one we didn't think of? There is one modern one that's good. Big Dumper. Cal Raleigh.
Do you still think it's real? You think Cal Raleigh's real? No PEDs?
I choose to. I don't care. It's good for baseball. It's fun. I don't really care. I'm not going to. Don't show me how the sausage is made. I want to see a guy chase 70 in a season. I don't care what goes into it.
One of my favorite quotes.
As long as it's not Aaron Judge.
When the first Last Chance U came out, and there's the head coach of that JUCO.
Underrated show.
I'm going to rewatch the first two seasons.
They made such a mistake switching that to basketball.
I know, but with the first one, and then the coach, he's in Mississippi. I've lived in the Bible Belt for a few years. No one, you don't curse down there. You say HE double hockey stick, man. People are saying get out of town. I remember the old lady was talking to him. He's like, look, I'm winning all these ranks. People don't want to see how sausage is made, but that's what comes with it. Whenever anyone says that, I think back to Last Chance U.
All right, one more, and then we'll have Bobby Krivitsky coming up at 8:20. We'll get his nickname, and we'll talk Celtic Summer League. Logan in the car. Logan.
How's it going, guys? I got a couple nicknames, and I also got a joke about the lady at the Coldplay concert. So, first
Skaz, get the dump button ready.
I'm a younger guy, so when I think of nicknames, I think of Megatron, Ocho Cinco.
Oh, good one.
And then I'm also a big soccer fan, so I think of CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo, and then I also think of a new guy, Cole Palmer, goes by Cold Palmer. Celebration to match it and everything. It's amazing.
So that's good. CR7 is not a nickname. That's just his initials in his jersey.
And his nickname was Ronaldo. He was last name, synonymous.
Yeah, I agree, but I think he was the one to at least start that whole trend.
All right, and what's your Coldplay? Should I even take this? What's your Coldplay comment?
My joke for the Coldplay concert is that that lady wasn't the head of HR. She was head from.
I see where that's going. Did I drop that in time, Skaz? Yeah, real original, Logan. Good job.
Come on, man.
I just give you my one critique of that call. He says, "Yeah, I'm a younger guy, Megatron and Ocho Cinco."
Yeah,
you're my age.
Yeah, what?
No, I'll take being called younger. That's fine.
Yeah, no,
I have no problem with that.
31. I'm not young.
Barth, we're washed, man.
No,
I
am in such denial about my age. It's
How
not
old
even
are
funny.
you?
31.
Skaz?
31.
Oh, look at that.
You're 31 too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you in college?
Graduated Seton Hall in 16.
All right, yes, we're the same year. No, in my mind, it's still February.
I graduated
2019.
Harvard 2014. I did some, laps around the world.
All right, George Clooney, calm down. Bobby Krivitsky joins us next. Talk Celtics Summer League. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji on the Sports Hub. sports nicknames tonight.
Let
You
the
want to
man
call
cook.
in? We'll keep going with it. 617-779-0985, your favorite sports nicknames. But I do want to get a Celtics Summer League check-in with Bobby Krivitsky. He joins us now. Bobby covers the Celtics and the NBA for Forbes. Bobby, before we get to the Celtics, it's been the theme of the night. Your favorite sports nickname of all time?
Wow, that's a great one. So it's not, with all due respect to Cal Raleigh, it's not Big Dumper. A favorite of all time. That's a tough one to put me on the spot with because nothing jumps out immediately. There are obviously some good ones along the way. I mean, I like that Isaiah Thomas, King of the Fourth, was pretty good, but
nobody's brought that up. That's a great one. Isaiah Thomas, King of the Fourth.
Oh,
that was a great one.
So I think for me, even above that is Kevin Durant with Slim Reaper. That's probably the top one that comes to mind off top.
That's another good one.
I sworn Nemesis Gary said that one too. It's fine. And Durantula too.
Durantula's another one. He's got a couple.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of good ones.
Before we get to Summer League, Bobby, because I do really want to pick your brain on that, just your reaction to Damian Lillard choosing to sign with Portland. Did the Celtics miss an opportunity here at that dollar price? Were they ever really in on him? Do you think there was a chance he would have come here for significantly less?
So I don't think that was the deciding factor, the financials, but the Celtics are, one, restricted on that front, and secondly, I don't think that there was too much of an appetite to go beyond 2 years, whereas Lillard has a different sort of arrangement there in Portland. I also just think that he wanted to go home, and the Blazers, people might be a little bit surprised by the size of the contract given the circumstances with Lillard, but the Blazers are not a team that attracts players in free agency. So certainly in a case like this, they can afford to spend a little more than another team, even if they have the flexibility to do so, would perhaps have offered Lillard. But I do get the sense that the Celtics were genuinely in this race, and probably if they didn't come in second, then my perception is that they came in third. I think they were pretty close, but ultimately Lillard's desire was to return home.
It's also Dame getting that money, $14 million a year, player option in that third year where he could go out and get paid again. It could be elsewhere. So, Bobby, it's a great point by you. I think the length of the terms. All right, so we look at this Celtics depth chart now. Derek White, Anthony Simons, Jaylen Brown, George Niang, Nemish Queta. Like, that looks like what the starting five could be. Maybe it's Luka Garza. Where do the Celtics go from here for depth and also to build pieces moving forward when Tatum returns?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's worth keeping in mind that with Lillard, you never know because he's obviously going to be pushing hard to rehab and return at some point this season. Perhaps that happens, but given the timing of the injury, the Celtics were probably, if he had signed in Boston, looking at carrying two players, him and Tatum, that would not play this coming season. So that would make things tricky. Certainly a sacrifice worth it for what he could do for you upon returning next season, and you have him and Tatum return to the fold. But for the Celtics moving forward, I think that the destination right now, the primary goal is going to be get back under the second apron and to create as much flexibility moving forward as possible. So some of the names you mentioned there, George, you look at Anthony Simons and the size of his expiring contract. You talk about George's Niang. These are players that, whether it's come opening night between now and then or by the time the trade deadline passes, I'm not sure that either one of them either makes it into the start of the season with the Celtics, and certainly by the time the trade deadline comes and goes, there's a distinct possibility that the Celtics, they follow through with their primary goal for this season of creating, again, as much flexibility as possible.
Again, we're talking to Bobby Krivitsky, covers the Celtics and the NBA for Forbes, and you're in Vegas, right? Or you were in Vegas for Summer League?
I'm in Vegas right now. I'm at the Thomas and Mack Center.
So, he could be doing anything in Vegas. He's taking the time to talk to us, so we appreciate that. Is the Hugo Gonzalez hype real? From what you've seen so far, how ready does he look to contribute to the Celtics on a even semi-regular basis this upcoming season?
Yes, I'm glad to get to him early here. So I just spoke with him for an exclusive for Forbes that's out now. And I think it's really important for Celtics fans to understand a few things about Hugo Gonzalez. They're going to love his mentality, his selflessness, his willing to sacrifice, and how he plays the game. He's got a motor that runs nonstop, and he is a defensive menace. They're going to love that. Jordan Walsh, immediately, it only took him a handful of practices to recognize, Celtics fans are going to love this guy and how he operates. At the same time, he has to make a massive adjustment coming from a style of play in Madrid that is dramatically different than how the game operates in terms of pace and how quickly teams get shots up and all of that. It's a dramatically different approach in the NBA compared to Madrid. And on top of that, he was on a team with 10 former NBA players. And as a result, playing at that level, Alex, he was only averaging 11 minutes per game. Sometimes they would go to the EuroLeague and leave him off the roster altogether. So he is a raw prospect. This was a home run swing the Celtics took, and someone who is coming in with a lot of potential and someone who could really fit in nicely along the way. But he has considerable room for growth here coming in again as someone who the Celtics are really going to have to mold and help him adjust to the NBA.
Talking about other guys that are developing, I think it's a great thing to point out about Hugo Gonzalez, everything he brings, but hey, patience could be key. Baylor Shireman, we've seen him struggle with his shot early on to start off Summer League. Is that something where sound the alarms, or is this a guy maybe experimenting with the shot, trying to find his way into a different role, playing more minutes? What have you seen from Baylor Shireman out in Vegas?
So I think he's done a great job. I talked to him about this the other day, of being able to balance both sticking within the role that he's going to have with the Celtics. We've seen guys plenty of times, regardless of team, come over to Vegas and they try to showcase what else they can do. And that's fine, but if that's not your role with the team you're on, when the season starts, how much good did it ultimately do? And how much stock is anyone ultimately putting in what you just tried to showcase? So he's done a great job of wanting to display his all-around growth of his game while sticking to the role that he has with the Celtics when the regular season arrives. And as far as the shot goes, it is certainly surprising what's gone on here in Vegas for him. He'd be the first to admit that he's disappointed, that he's frustrated in that regard. But more importantly, I mean, that's his standout trait, right? So I'm not too concerned just yet. It's noteworthy. And if we get into the regular season and it's still an issue, that's a different story. But for now, it's more just something that you mark down, that he's not shooting the ball well. More importantly, I'd say, is that one, he's playing through it, moving on to the next play. We don't see it leading to negative decisions or frustrations getting the best of him. And two, last night, for example, against the Lakers, he had the most assists in the game. He's playing good positional defense. So he's showcasing what else he can do and the growth of his all-around game.
Charles Bassey was a player that got a lot of attention kind of to start this summer. He's no longer with the team. What happened there, and is he somebody who could end up ultimately back with the Celtics when the season rolls around?
So that's a really interesting situation, Alex. Basically what happened was he joined the Summer League team for 3 games. That was the arrangement going into it. And it was a showcase on the part of Charles Bassey that the Celtics were open and agreeable to. This is someone who his market didn't play out the way he had hoped. And so he looked for an opportunity. I think the Celtics were a wise choice for multiple reasons. And he looked pretty good out there, especially in those first 2 games. And then this was, time for him to shut it down. I've put enough out on tape, reminded people who I am. What's interesting is my sense is that he didn't shut it down with an opportunity in hand. So I think that process is still playing out. Now, that means that perhaps he does end up in training camp with the Celtics, but I do think he's eyeing opportunities elsewhere.
When we talk about the depth or what it could be in the front court, how do you see that shaking out moving forward? Nimish Queta, it's Luka Garza, maybe a Xavier Tillman. There's guys that can step up, or maybe they bring guys in from the outside. Where do you see that front court taking shape? Again, as we see guys playing in the Summer League, but still the Celtics have to make moves. And this is, Bobby, where I asked this coming from, putting an NBA team out there because they talk about competing. Brad Stevens says retool, rebuild, makes him basically shake when he thinks back to his head coaching days. So what do you see from the front court in the Summer League, and what do you see that the Celtics can do with that front court?
Yeah, it's certainly an incomplete picture right now at center specifically, and it might stay that way throughout the season. Maybe Amari Williams, he gets some opportunities and he pops. He's got a long ways to go, though. He was a second-round pick for a reason, and so we'll have to see what happens here. It might just be a position where, quite frankly, they struggle throughout the year. For Xavier Tillman Sr., you mentioned him. He's someone who he went from stepping up big time in Game 3 of the finals against Dallas to not really being playable. And even on nights where they rested a lot of people, he might not get in, or he might just get in at the tail end of the game. And so I'm curious to see, does he get into better conditioning? There was a lot going on with Tillman in a truncated offseason off of that championship win 2 summers ago, or last summer. So I'm curious to see, does he ultimately bounce back and look more like the player he has throughout his career, or is what happened last season, is that ultimately setting the tone for what's to come the rest of the way for him, in which case the Celtics aren't going to get much out of him, unfortunately. So we'll see with Tillman. It could be a bounce-back year. With Keita, it's as great of an opportunity as he could have begged and hoped for, and so he's got to be excited and motivated by that chance to really take the next step in his career and showcase what he's capable of. And then with Garza, at every level, even in the NBA, when he's got an opportunity, he has showcased what he's able to do offensively and the talent he has at that end of the floor. So he's really excited. He was down here at Summer League. We spoke to him about the chance to come to the Celtics, and as much as he loves Minnesota, he said, my priority, it was time to go find a more meaningful opportunity for my career elsewhere. And he believes he's done that. You mentioned the depth chart. It looks like he found the right home to achieve that. So now he's got to go make the most of it.
He is Bobby Krivitsky. He covers the Celtics and the NBA for Forbes. He said you got that exclusive up now, or is coming up with, or it is up. I see it now on your Twitter with Hugo Gonzalez, and we'll have more coverage of the Celtics from out there in Vegas in Summer League. You can follow him on social media at Bobby Krivitsky. Bobby, thank you so much for joining us.
Alex, George, appreciate it. All the best.
King of the Fourth was a really good nickname. I'm glad he brought that up, Isaiah Thomas.
His run, what he was doing in the postseason clutch time, and to have that nickname, the King of the Fourth, is perfect. And this guy of his size.
This is another one we could maybe do another night if you want to get into it. Like Boston athletes you wanted to see a title but didn't. Here, he's pretty high on that list for me. But if you the topic of the night, best sports nicknames. I see a few more you hanging on. 617-779-0985. You want to join? We got open phone lines. George is going to get you caught up with the headlines, then we'll take your calls here. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji in for Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
These Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. The Red Sox 10-game win streak has evaporated. One game into the second half of the season, losing 4-1 to Chicago. As the first three batters for Lucas Giolito, who he faced, walk, home run, went 5 1/3 innings pitched. The bullpen put together a good outing, but the Lone Sox RBI was thanks to a double by Roman Anthony. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night at 7:15. Brian Bayo over Shota Imanaga. And according to Adam Schefter, Patriots reached an agreement on a fully guaranteed deal with second-round pick Travion Henderson. His draft slot projects to be 4 years, $11 million, totally guaranteed. The Patriots' entire 2025 rookie class is now under contract. And the head of the NFLPA, Lloyd Howell, resigned last night after an audit discovered Howell expensed 2 separate strip club visits on the Players Association. Once at Tootsie's and once at Magic City. 2 different states, 2 different establishments. He took out over $2,400 in charges, and according to the expense report, it was quoted at for a player engagement event to support and grow our union. And now ESPN reports investigations that a professional bettor placed 30 wagers in 46 minutes, all involving Terry Rozier in a 2023 NBA game. According to documents taped by ESPN that reveal new details about the suspicious betting under scrutiny by federal investigators. And finally, the New England Revolution are back on the pitch tomorrow night facing Orlando. Match starts at 7:30. Catch all the action right here on the Sports Hub. I'm George Balekji. I'm Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next sports update is at 9 p.m.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Maz here for Window Nation and now.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, Alex Barth, George Balekji. We're going to get into the Patriots in a little bit. But if you missed it, we started the show talking about the best sports nicknames because, again, my take, I don't even want to call it a theory because it's true. Because we've been doing best sports nicknames for almost 2 hours, and we've got maybe 2 or 3 names that are currently active in sports.
Mm-hmm.
The concept of the sports nickname is in a dire place. It is worse off than it's ever been. Initials and numbers are not a nickname. Like TB12, fine. But, again, SGA.
I'm fine with that. It's a long name.
JD5 for Jaden Daniels.
That stinks. Just call him Jaden Daniels.
There are a few that have worked. Andrei Kirilenko, AK-47.
Match made in
which
heaven.
is a Russian gun. He was Russian. Like, that's fine, but...
My buddy texted me one. Troy Aikman, the Silver Bullet. Shout out Sean McGuire.
That's okay. That's fine.
Troy Aikman, properly rated, overrated? I think he's overrated.
A little overrated.
Really good.
I think it's become like you get like people think they sound smart when they say he's overrated. So people love to say how overrated he is because like, well, I know ball. I know Troy Aikman's not actually as good as everybody says. But now it's gone too far the other way.
Oh yeah.
Right. But again, like MHJ, BTJ. We were talking about those. I'm sure the Patriots have some, or local teams.
Flying Squirrel,
JT. That was a good one.
That's how he played.
But nobody really called him that. That was like a more of a meme than a nickname.
Yeah.
So, not a short, like Gronk, fine, but it's a shortened part of the name. Gonzo, fine. I'm not necessarily, that's not as bad as the number and the initials.
I think Carlton Davis's nickname is like CD.
Right. That. JB, JT for the South. No, I'm talking about The Answer, Allen Iverson, The Truth, Paul Pierce, Big Unit, Randy Johnson, that sort of thing. Great in the YouTube chat right now. Because I did say there are some really good coach nicknames. We haven't gotten many coaches. Big Tuna. Bill Parcells, the Big Tuna.
Charles Barkley, the round.
The round mound of rebound. That's what I want to hear. So 617-779-0985.
Gary Payton, the glove.
The glove, great one.
Especially for a defender like
if you have a good nickname, or if you can think of a nickname for an athlete now, because we desperately need better ones. And we have, a decent platform here. We'll try to make it happen. Let's go to Keith in New Hampshire. He has one. Keith.
Hey, guys. Hey. Love the show. I don't have any new ones. My two are one for a player who also, his name was for where he played, Duke Snyder, the Duke of Flatbush.
That's a good one.
And also, the Red Sox had a first baseman in the early 60s named Dick Stewart. And his nickname, because he was a terrible fielder, was Dr. Strangeglove. And I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
Those are good ones. Thanks for the call, Keith, and great phone. Dr. StrangeGlove's a good one. I've never heard that. That for a guy you can't field?
A tongue-in-cheek nickname, too, nonetheless. Probably like, yeah, I can mash, though.
That's a good one.
Assuming you can hit.
That's a good one.
You know
Dr. Strangeglove.
You know what we forget?
What?
Sauce Gardner, not his first name.
No, it's Ahmad.
Debo Samuel, not his first name.
But I think, those are ones, again, where
Ahmad
it's
Sauce
like,
Gardner.
I brought up Tiger Woods.
Yeah, like it was
Julio Jones. If you got the nickname as a kid and that's just what you've always been called, that's a little different. Again, the story with Paul Pierce, he went off. Was it 42 points against the Lakers?
42 against the Lakers.
And Shaq pulls a reporter aside and says, will you write this down? Paul Pierce is the MF in truth. I don't know the story behind the answer, but like that, something that you gained as an athlete, that's part of it. Tiger Woods, super cool name. But he was called Tiger from the time he was a little kid. Like, that's a little different.
Fine.
So
Mad Max Crosby.
Better. But it's still, it's better. It's better.
It's a movie. It's not original.
It's better than the initials and the number. I'll give you that.
Can we address this? The bartender is sitting next to me.
Yeah, nobody brought that up.
And we haven't mentioned the bartender
because I'm not an athlete. Trust me, I'm not an athlete. I'm nowhere close. Let's go to
Vader.
Joe. I've heard that one too. Joe and Raleigh. I've heard them all. Joe and Raleigh. What do you got?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Got a couple for you.
Yep.
I was a big Atlanta Falcons fan back in the day. So, primetime Deion Sanders and Andre Bad Moon Rising.
Great one. Great one, Joe. Thanks for the call. Andre, see now, I can't believe it took us this long to bring up Chris Berman. Ty, I fought the law and the law won. Mike Boom Boom Boom. Also, that's not a nickname.
An
That's a sound
institution.
effect,
No, but with him, it was nicknames, though. I bet you that next day he walks in the building and go, boom, boom, boom. Because Chris Berman's iconic like that.
I can't believe it took us this long to bring up Chris Berman.
Michael Irvin, was he the playmaker? I think that was his nickname.
Was he? I don't know.
I think he was the playmaker.
Andre Bad Moon Rising. I just pulled up some of the Chris Berman ones. Chuck New Kids on the Knob Block. So this is a little different than nicknames, but it's still great. Sammy Say It Ain't Sosa. Good one. Todd Highway to Helton.
Hold on.
I'm trying to remember some of the other. I used to have a bunch of these in the back of my head. I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
Cameron Dicker the kicker.
That's not a Berman one, but that is a good one.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Dicker the freshman kicker.
Barry U.S. Bonds. That's a government joke there.
Do we go with do we give Garoppolo some flowers? Jimmy GQ?
No,
Porn
it's just
star
Jimmy
Jimmy.
G. No, it's a nickname. It's Jimmy. No, it's
his dating style.
The good backup quarterback Patriots ones. I don't know that. I don't think this was a widely used one, but some people refer to Brian Hoyer as the human victory cigar. Because when he came in the game, it was out of reach.
That might have been Scalabrini too.
I think there's been a couple people that have had
guys
that
like
one.
that. That makes sense.
We just filled up the fun lines again. How about this? And then Joe Milton, the Manhattan Project.
That's a good one.
Anthony and Marblehead, what do you got?
Hey, well, buddy, I'm going to go hockey on you a little bit.
All right.
I got Johnny Pie Face McKenzie.
Okay.
If you remember that at all.
I don't.
You guys might be still young. Okay, so, and then I'm going to give you Henry Richard, the Rocket. Know if you remember
That's
at
a
all.
classic. I'm aware of it. Rock Richard. Thanks for the call. I love, by the way, the phenomena that everybody has two. I don't know why that's happening, but the pressure's on now. If you can't call in with one.
If you do, it has to be. We're going to ask for
be
the
really
two.
good, right? Skaz, is this like a night show thing? Everybody, I got a couple. I'm not judging. Like, it's great.
They're coming prepared.
But I just think shout out. It's a compliment to the callers. I just love how everybody is too. Mike in Worcester, what do you got for us?
Joe Murray's very own Tyler O'Neill came up with pipes.
Was he something like Big Maple, James Paxton?
Big Maple's a good one.
Tyler O'Neill's also Canadian.
Yeah.
You got another one? We just said
you got
everyone
another
has
one?
two.
No, just one for you guys.
All right, well, it's a good one. Thanks for the call, Mike. I jinxed it. Big Maple for James Paxton.
That was great time.
Why can't I think of what Pedro's was?
Pedro.
Yeah, I thought he had one.
He was a magician, man. He was a musician when he pitched. It was art. I don't think Pedro had one.
He doesn't even have one on Baseball
Roger
Reference.
Clemens,
I thought he
the Rocket.
did. The Rocket, that's a good one.
It's a good one, too.
And they called him Petey, I think. But not like
that's not
fans weren't really. Yeah, I think that was more like
and
a
then that was
locker room call.
Pedroia, which always bugged me.
Yeah.
Petty?
Yeah,
Was he Petey too, or
Petey,
Petty?
yeah, they both got called Petey. Well, because I think that was just Pedro shortened, so that's what guys called him, and then Pedroia obviously shortened. There's the whole hockey thing where you just take somebody's name and you put the Y at the end.
I get nicknames. It's cool. The hockey thing is nuts. I was when I was covering the Wisconsin Badgers. Ty Pelton Bice. He was from Wisconsin. He played at Harvard, transferred there. I asked the head coach at the time a question, and he goes, "Who?" And I go, "Ty." He goes, "Oh, Bicer. Why are we adding syllables?"
Yeah, it's all
hockey just
or
makes
E.
everything more
That's
difficult.
just how they do it. Jason and Derry. Jason, you guys might need to bring them up. I think we broke the French call screener with these.
You got Knuckles.
Yeah, what do you got, Jason?
You got Knuckles Nyland.
Okay.
You got the Splendid Splinter, and then you got the guy that beat the Pats in the Super Bowl, Big Dick Nick.
We did have that.
Great.
Hey, Skaz, you're going to have to go on and off here because this thing is... oh, there we go. Okay, I'm back. Splendid Splinter, Ted Williams. Greatest hitter who ever lived. That counts as a nickname to you?
Teddy Ballgame.
Teddy Ballgame's great.
Yeah.
Johnny Football.
Oh.
How do we... And it was... Because that was also when Johnny Gaudreau was coming up. So you had Johnny Football, Johnny Hockey, and then... Oh, I forget. There was a really good college baseball player, too, named Johnny.
Johnny Baseball?
I forget what his name was, but there were like three of them.
You don't get Johnny Basketball.
All
It
at
doesn't
once.
roll the same way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Johnny Baseball's better there. Johnny Hockey was great. Johnny
Hockey
Football was great.
Is a great one. All-time BC Eagle. Johnny Gaudreau, also. Rest in peace, but also from Jersey. Like, so beloved in Jersey, that whole family.
Johnny, I mean, it was great. It was simple. It was, and again, that's his name, but there was some weight to that. Let's grab a couple more here before the phone screener totally crashes. You guys are doing a good job here. Dan and Falmouth. Dan.
Yes, hi guys. Yeah, we got Sweetness Walter Payton.
Oh,
Yes.
Mike Greenwell, the Gator.
Yep.
And we got Ozzie Smith, the Wizard.
Ozzie Smith, the Wizard. Ozzie. This is that. We are that social media. What is it? That cliche guys can just sit around and name athletes for 4 hours.
That's all we do.
We're in the middle of this right now. We're putting Jake to work back there. The phone line already filled up since I hang that call up.
I just love too. Is like some of these guys I've never heard of, but then you hear the nickname, like great nickname.
Great. No, some of them are really good nicknames. Even if we never heard, like I obviously I know Rocket Richard, but
very relevant because of what just emerged with the betting scandal. Scary Terry.
Scary Terry was a good. That was and then there was like that whole Drew Bledsoe thing that was tied into that, which made it interesting.
Wait, what was the Drew Bledsoe tie?
What was it? It wasn't Drew Holiday. Who was it? There was like somebody who was chirping him, and then he said who was named Drew, but I don't remember who it was. And then he was like, I don't care what Drew Bledsoe thinks. And then he showed up the next game in a Drew Bledsoe jersey.
Wait, Terry Rozier said that?
Yeah.
So Drew Holiday was saying something about Rozier, and he said, "Okay."
No, I don't think it was Drew Holiday. I think it was somebody else.
That's amazing.
Oh, it was Eric Bledsoe. That's what it was. It wasn't Drew. It was Eric. So, like, Eric Bledsoe was chirping during a playoff series. He was, I don't care what Drew Bledsoe thinks. So, in the middle of being Scary Terry, he also sort of started. Then people started calling him Drew Bledsoe. I don't remember all the details, but it was a fun time. Get a couple more. John and Beverly. John.
All right, how about the slimiest defender in NBA history, Dennis Rodman, the Worm?
The Worm.
Yep.
It's a good one, John. The Worm. That's a fitting nickname for that guy.
That's a one where I love that it matches. Like the whole aura, not just a look, the aura.
And that made me think of the better one for Edelman than the Squirrel was Slotty Pippen.
Yes, loved that one.
That was a great nickname. Slotty Pippen. Those Patriots teams had some.
The early Patriots, early 2000 teams, like there weren't any. Was Lawyer Malloy the law firm? Like probably was.
Well, so they had Lawyer Malloy and Ty Law, which was because they're both. Oh, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, the law firm. That's one of the great nicknames. That was actually when I had this take about nicknames being dead. That was the result of a conversation about Ben Jarvis Green Ellis because that, folks, is a sports nickname. It was creative. It was clever. It was fun to say. Like, that hit all the notes. I cannot believe it took us 2 hours to get to Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, the law firm. I apologize to him, and I apologize to all of you for taking this long. Ben Jarvis, and you guys should have come up with it too. I put some blame on you guys as well, in addition to myself. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, the law firm. All-time great sports nickname.
He had the biggest out, BGE. If he was today,
that's what it'd be today. BGE.
No law firm.
BG42. Nobody would care. And the Patriots had a player named Jarvis Green prior.
Yes.
And then you get Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, the law firm. Unbelievable nickname. We do have an in or out coming up. I see you guys lined up on the phones. We will get back to you.
Love it.
But Skaz put together an in or out, and that's a fun segment, too. We'll do that as well. You want to keep calling in 617-779-0985. It's Alex, Barth, and George Balekji on the Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out? just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Red Sox returned from the All-Star break with a 4-1 loss to the Chicago Cubs. Lucas Giolito back on the bump, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. The lone run for the Red Sox came thanks to Roman Anthony and a double. And according to Adam Schefter, Patriots reached agreement on a fully guaranteed deal with second-round pick Travion Henderson. The Patriots' entire 2025 rookie class is now under contract. While in the NFL, the head of the NFLPA, Lloyd Howell, resigned last night after an audit discovered Howell expensed 2 separate strip club visits on the Players Association, once at Tootsie's, once at Magic City. According to the expense report, the purpose of the strip club outing, quote, player engagement event to support and grow our union. A former Celtic star, Terry Rozier, is under investigation after a professional bettor placed 30 wagers, all involving him in a 2023 game. A bettor in Biloxi, Mississippi, placed $13,000 in bets on unders on Rozier in that game. That night, all 30 bets won after Rozier exited 10 minutes into the game, citing a foot injury. And finally, the New England Revolution are back on the pitch tomorrow night, facing Orlando. Match starts at 7:30. Catch all the action right here on the Sports Hub. These Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, keeping drains flowing for homes and businesses in the greater Boston area since 1976. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm George Balekji on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 Sports Hub. Your next update is at 9:30.
Come on, let's face it. Your summer barbecue, it's just training camp for tailgate season. And Patriots Training Camp is where the Sports Hub will be as the team gets ready for a new season with a new coach, Mike Vrabel. Keep it on the Sports Hub, and we'll keep you up to date with all things Patriots. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
All right. We're a little behind. I'm joeing up the clock a little bit here, but
we're perfectly timed.
9 o'clock edition of In or Out. Still want to get to this.
For the Joe show, that's a normal occurrence.
Oh, okay.
9 o'clock in or out. Yes.
So what do you got for us tonight, Skaz? It's Alex Barth, George Balekji, in for Joe Murray. Skaz behind the glass. What do you got for us, Skaz?
Yeah, gentlemen, Friday night edition of In or Out will be a little all over the place. We'll start with some football, though. I saw this floating around on Twitter earlier this week. Rumors swirling that one Nick Saban could be returning to coach football. Gentlemen, are we in or out on the return of Nick Saban?
Oh, I need so much more context. I'm out in theory. As somebody who's such a fan of his at Alabama, I don't really want to see him coach anywhere else. I'd be curious. I'd be invested, but I don't know. He walked away on it. I know they lost in the college football playoff that year, but he walked away on a high note. He's been really good on College Game Day, too. I'm out. I like where he's at right now.
I'm out for the sole fact of I think it's the healthiest thing in the world that he left at the top, left on the mountaintop. Same thing with Jay Wright. Every time he's linked to a coaching job. No, Jay, you were phenomenal at Villanova. You're GQJ, do your thing. Nick Saban, old ball coach. I'm out on him returning solely to keep what we envision him as.
Now, I will say, if he's going to go to UNC to team up with Belichick, I'd be very interested.
I'd be out on that.
I'd be in on that.
Out.
In. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Out. Out.
Speaking of Bill Belichick,
yes.
On Twitter earlier today, I believe someone tossed this in Slack, but it seems like Belichick, even though his Hard Knocks deal fell through, I believe it's Hulu, is pursuing a little Hard Knocks knockoff, for lack of a better phrase, following Bill Belichick and UNC around this upcoming season. Gentlemen, are we in or out on this Jordan Hudson production?
I'm in. Give me all the behind-the-scenes stuff on Belichick. I'm more excited. So the SEC is getting their own. It's not Hard Knocks because it's in season, but they're getting their own like Netflix stock. I'm more interested in that. But yeah, no, I'm in. It'll be fascinating one way or the other.
All or Nothing Amazon, they do one. They did on Michigan a while back, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I'm so in on this because, A, I want to see Belichick in college. I want to see how he interacts with the recruits. I want to see Belichick behind the scenes. I'm curious how much we get of him. And I'm also in because I would not be shocked 20 minutes in, it becomes Real Housewives of Chapel Hill. Because this happened because Jordan greenlit it. She's in charge of this.
She supposedly got in the way of the Hard Knocks one.
Exactly.
So that would make sense.
Bill will definitely want creative control to create the narrative or control the narrative, and Jordan is going to force her way into the spotlight. I'm interested.
She'll be in. She will certainly be in.
It's going to be so
doubt
obnoxious. She's going to be in the meeting room with them, breaking down a cover 2, saying the quarterback has to make this read. Like, she's going to force herself in every which way. I'm in. Hating. I'm hate watching.
All right, gentlemen, sticking with the college football theme, some big college football news this week. Big Noon Saturday agreed to a deal with Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports, and Portnoy will now be appearing, I think, every Saturday on Big Noon Saturday. Gentlemen, are we in or out on adding Portnoy to Big Noon Saturday?
It's nothing against Portnoy or any of that, unless they put Brady on that desk, and even then, I don't know. You're not getting me away from College Game Day. College Game Day is just one of the true last elite products on sports TV. I guess I'm in because it probably makes that show a little better. They're still miles behind College Game Day, even with them losing Lee Corso.
I'm out, and I'll look at it like the objectivity of just like that as a program. Yeah, I'll still watch College Game Day. It's jumping the shark. They're trying to match the McAfee energy. That's what everyone said. I thought it right away. And it's also, like, that audience, what will Portnoy bring? Will he talk betting? That's fine.
Well, it's a bunch of Ohio State guys on the desk, so he'll just go at it with them about Michigan.
Yeah, and it'll be like that viral clip, and that's just kind of what it is right now. It's a Stephen A. Smith's, it's a Kendrick Perkins, it's a Pat McAfee's, it's now the Dave Portnoy's. Like, they have Urban Meyer on the desk. Like, I'm out on that altogether because Urban Meyer's up there. I don't think it's that great. I love Game Day. I'm out. What Portnoy's built, like, all respect to him, obviously. But it's just like, that's not him. That's not the setting you want him.
I'm more interested. I think they said they're giving him and Big Cat a show like during the week, right?
Yes.
Because they just cut a bunch of programming, so they're getting one of those like weekday reaction shows. I'm more interested in that. I'll check that out.
From what I read of the deal, I think Portnoy will do the Saturday football show, but depending on location, like if they're playing Wisconsin or wherever someone else at the company works, they might appear on that as well. And then as far as the weekly show, I think Portnoy's just doing Mondays, and then it'll be a rotating cast. Like I think it's like 8 to 10 a.m. every day or something.
I mean, I'm not going to get up at 8 to watch it, but I'll like check it out, replays and stuff. You're not College Game Day like. Saturday mornings watching College Game Day is
the best.
It's one of my favorite. Those 14 3-hour windows a year are just I live for that. So you're not going to get me off College Game Day.
All right, we just mentioned getting up early. You won't get up early for that. It is the Open Championship this weekend. Yeah. If you're a diehard golf fan, you may even set an alarm for 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to watch this thing. Are we in or out on setting an alarm to watch a sporting event?
In. But it depends the event. I'm out on waking up to watch golf. I'm out on watching golf on TV. In person, awesome. I can't watch it on TV.
So I think I've only done it twice. Both were in college. One was for the Red Sox played their season opener in Japan one year, and it was at like 5 a.m. Good job, Major League Baseball. We got up for that. We might have just pulled an all-nighter, actually. I don't remember if we went to bed.
They did that this year between the Cubs and the Dodgers.
And then one of those, I think it was USA-Russia, one of those Olympic hockey games.
Was the TJ Oshie game early? I feel like that might have been.
So I forget if it was that game. One of the games in that Olympics, I remember getting up really, or it was the U.S.-Canada game. One of them, because Oshie was against the Russians. One of those two games was on super, super early, and we all got up. That's the only time I've ever done it. So I don't count the London game as that.
I'm in. There's a line you can draw between staying up, as you said, or getting up early. Depending where F1 is on their calendar, if you're into soccer, you got to do it. I'm in on setting the alarm. One thing I love about F1, wake up early, and it's done by 9, 10 a.m., got the rest of your day. So I'm in on waking up for sports.
It's done before I'm getting up. Especially during football season. Like, that's the only day of the week that I can kind of sleep at. I'm not a morning person. I'm a night person. I like doing the show because I go home. Like, I'll go home from this and eat dinner and hang out for a little bit. And, like, if I'm left to my own, like, I'll stay up till 2 in the morning easily.
Left to your own vices.
If it's also up to me, I won't get out of bed till 10. Like, I live on West Coast time. If I can.
Barth, you're preaching to the choir here.
Right.
Exactly. The night show. Yeah.
I work a morning show. My normal alarm is 4:30 in the morning. 5 a.m. is nothing.
Wasn't there maybe it was the COVID year or something, there was an NFL game that kicked off at like 10:30 because they're trying to squeeze in like a Monday night game or something.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was great. I love the Red Sox. West Coast trips. I have something to watch at night. I'll stay up late for a game before I'll get up early for a game.
You live for Pac-12 After Dark.
Oh, I miss Pac-12 After. Forget Pac-12 After Dark. Give me Hawaii on the Big Island.
Yep.
Kicking off at 11:59 so they can technically say it's on Saturday.
I miss Bill Walton late at night.
Oh, it's the best.
The best. We'll take a slight detour from sports here.
All right.
Are you guys Harry Potter fans?
No.
Nah, I was back in the day.
So, a new Harry Potter series coming to HBO. Whatever, it is what it is. One of the things they're doing, though, is they're hiding some of the cast. So Voldemort, big character in the books, they're not revealing who he is, who the actor is. Are we in or out on hidden castings?
Out. Because somebody's going to watch it, see it, post on social media, the surprise is over. Also, just in general, that I've seen pictures of that show. It's one thing to remake something and make it like more modern and change kind of the tone a little bit. They're just remaking the movies. It looks the same as the movies. It's going to be the same.
It's identical to Hagrid.
What's the why? They're so out of ideas. They have to make the show itself a gimmick, like the announcement of the show, because the show itself, everybody's already seen that. So if your show was good, I wouldn't need to tune in to say who's playing Voldemort, because I would just tune in to watch the show. But no, this is what they need to do to get the audience. I'm out. It's lazy.
I'm in on hiding the cast just because, like, they're the people that know actors, movies, I don't. That's that guy. I do not care who's in it. If the show is good, show is good. Hide the whole cast from me. I don't care.
It tells me the show isn't good. So I don't mind like the hidden cameo. Like you're watching and all of a sudden, boom, this guy's, I didn't know he was going to be in like a guest spot. Don't hide a major cameo.
All right, gentlemen, it is a summer blockbuster season. Superman did pretty well last week. The Fantastic Four movie is coming out next week. Are we in or out on the Fantastic Four?
I'm out. I mean, I've never been a big superhero movie guy, so that's just me. I don't, people want to enjoy it. That's never really been my thing.
Dark Knight?
That's the one exception. I got dragged to The Dark Knight by friends in middle school and loved it.
Cool.
So I've seen all three of those. And then Hancock, if you want to count that as a superhero
it's a bad movie.
Oh, I kind of like Hancock. I'm a big fan of movies that are so bad they're good. Like, I love that genre.
Big Problem in Little China.
I don't know about that. So, like, the over-the-top 90s action movies.
For me, the worst movie I've ever seen, but I enjoyed it because it was so bad, Dinner for Schmucks. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
So that kind of thing, but also...
Terrible movie.
And it's not like a bad movie. It's just so dumb. Have you ever seen Con Air?
No.
Yes, yeah.
The plot of Con Air is just like, it's every single 90s movie, like, cliche. It's Nick Cage with long hair and a fake Southern accent, but he's like three different accents over the course of the movie, and they crash a plane onto the Vegas Strip. Or another one. This is a more famous one, Armageddon.
Such a good movie.
So the plot to Armageddon makes no sense. The plot's irrelevant. It's a visually stunning movie, but have you ever seen the director's cut where Ben Affleck says he once asked, it's Michael Bay, right? He asked Michael Bay, like, wouldn't it be easier to teach astronauts to drill than drillers to be astronauts? He said Michael Bay told him, shut the F up and go film the movie.
Yeah.
And the part where they're like, this is too dangerous, we should turn back. If you turn back, the Earth gets hit by the asteroid, you just die 20 minutes later. The plot is completely irrelevant to the entire movie. And none of them realize it. None of what they say in that movie makes sense. Zero of it. It's very visibly stunning. I enjoy watching it. It's incredibly stupid.
The one that makes sense when they're going over, hey, we'll do this if that, when they go, they don't want to pay taxes ever again. Everyone in the world can relate to that.
That's fine. I mean, that's fine. But the big picture plot, also, it was the exact same plot as a movie that had come out like 6 months before. Deep Impact with Morgan Freeman.
Never seen Deep
So
Impact.
you watched Armageddon. It's the same movie.
Yes.
They made the same movie twice in like a 6 month. So it sounds like I'm criticizing it. I'm not. I genuinely enjoy it because it's the idea is so weird.
To that extent, Point Break, Cast of Troy, all-time awful movies. Utah, give me 2. I love Point Break. Cast of Troy, they switch faces, but their whole bodies change. Come on. So ridiculous.
I don't even remember what the original question was, but I'm in on so bad it's good movies. Totally in.
Skaz, we lose you?
No, I'm enjoying that. Point Break was all right. I like that movie.
It's so bad you just got to laugh.
It's a little cheesy, yeah. It's a tough rewatch at this point, yes.
Wait, real quick. What's more ridiculous, Harry Potter or Fast and Furious? And I'm talking like Fast 8. What's more realistic? I don't know.
I think Harry Potter, honestly.
They're launching cars.
They're going into space and stuff.
On the 100th floor in Dubai from building to building.
That's another one that, like, it's again, it's not a bad movie, but to your point, it's just so over-the-top ridiculous. I don't know if you've ever seen there's another Michael Bay movie with Ryan Reynolds. It's only on Netflix. Again, the plot, the movie just fights the plot so hard, but it's visibly stunning and ridiculous, and it's that same thing where it's gratuitous explosions. They blow up like half of Rome in the first scene. It's great.
Brilliant.
It's like 6 Underground or something.
All right, gentlemen. 2 more.
6 Underground, yeah.
Wouldn't be the Joe Show in or out without at least one food question.
Yes.
Gentlemen, are you in or out on Frank's Red Hot Goldfish?
Out. It doesn't sound like something I'd enjoy.
I love goldfish. I have a low tolerance for spicy hot sauce. I'll try them. I'm in. Love goldfish.
All right, we will wrap up with this one. Another football one to wrap us up tonight. Drew Brees is getting another shot at broadcasting. Netflix says they will bring in Drew Brees as an analyst for this upcoming season. Are we in or out on the return of Drew Brees to broadcasting?
I'm just out on the Netflix thing as a whole. I don't trust that, so I'm going to say out.
What they're doing is they think like it's football and we'll just get names thrown together and it works. They don't understand chemistry. I don't think they understand the production. But I'm out because he was so bad. It was like a robot.
It was, yeah, I remember
so
that. It was pretty brutal.
Terrible. Oh, also on the YouTube comments, Sharknado.
Oh, I was Sharknado was appointment viewing for me back in the day. I'd have a couple friends over. We'd sit down every year when that thing came out. It's probably right around this time. I don't think they make them anymore. But they made didn't they make 7 of them? I think I watched the first 3 or 4.
You know what was the best growing up? Shark Week on Discovery Channel. First week of August. It
usually lined up with Shark Week. Wasn't that kind of the point?
Shark Week was the best. And I was going to use a different B word there. It was the best.
It was. Yeah, Sharknado 1 came out. When did it come out? July 11th. Yes, I was right. Right about this time of year.
Snakes on a plane.
We'd all get together. I have not seen
I've
snakes
had
on a plane.
enough of these mother effing snakes on this mother effing plane.
All right, let's get back to some actual football talk because we both want to talk Patriots. We've been deep in the nickname stuff. If you want to call in 617-779-0985, we will get back to that. But we are right around the corner from training camp. That's what made me remember Sharknado season. Who we watching? Who we looking at? Plus a kind of big development for the Patriots coming down this afternoon. We'll get to that and more. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji on the Sports Hub.
That's a lot.
That was Tom Curran. I think that was from earlier today or earlier this week. Some players to watch in Pacers training camp. I don't think Duggar or Onwenu's getting cut, but those are two guys that have gotten big contracts in recent history and need to step up. When it comes to training camp, which starts next week, the biggest player to watch for me, and maybe this is a lazy take, but I think it's true, is Drake May. Because for all they've done this offseason, I think they've had a very good offseason.
Yeah.
And it's obviously received a lot of praise, not just locally, but nationally. You see these 10, 11, 12 even win projections. That, maybe I can't speak for everybody, but myself, I had them at they should win, not they will win. They should win 10 games. Part of that assumption is Drake May makes the year 2 leap. If Drake May doesn't get better in year 2, and that's a fair expectation. That's not something that you're hoping to have. That's something you're expecting to have. If Drake May gets better in year 2, that's realistic. If you don't get that significant jump from Drake May, you're not getting to 10 wins. You're still probably going to win more than 4. You'll improve over last year. I don't think you're sniffing 10. You're going to be clawing to get to 500 or around 500. So, and I think we'll know pretty early. I think we'll know pretty early when it comes to Drake May. He had obviously that rough start in the spring, 4 interceptions in the first practice, the first open practice, was looking good by the end when we were seeing practices more regularly, looked more comfortable in Josh McDaniels' offense, but we don't need contact to see. Is he making better decisions? Does he look like he has command of the offense? Is he accessing parts of the field he maybe wasn't accessing as much last year? Where's his chemistry with these receivers? And that'll obviously build over the course of camp, but as opposed to maybe the offensive line, which we need to see in pads to truly evaluate, I think we'll get an answer on Drake May relatively quickly. So, again, the quarterback's the player to watch. Great take, Barth. Good insight. It is. He just is. I think he's the number 1 player to watch this summer.
You hit it at the end. It all comes down to Will Campbell for me. I do expect Drake May to take that second-year jump. I do. And like you said, that's fair. With his offensive coordinator, with the foundation of the skill set we saw, but Will Campbell's a guy to watch. Not that can he start. Can he play left tackle? Because if he cannot, guess who it is? Vidarian Lowe, Caden Wallace, DeMontre Jacobs on the blind side of Drake May. We'll have to wait for pads to come on.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait for the season to begin. I expect them to give him the leash of the baptism by the fire. He's a starting left tackle week 1. I expect that to happen. The only way that doesn't is if it's an absolute travesty.
I would be massively concerned if he doesn't at least get week 1.
And guess what? If that happens, then this season is a wrecking ball.
Yeah, they're
right
in
now.
huge trouble.
That whole offensive line, Will Campbell at left tackle, the undersized wingspan that he has, if he succeeds as a left tackle long-term in the NFL, let alone he can just be one for his rookie season, he will be such an anomaly of a prospect in the best way possible.
See, this is where I have to put, he won't be that much of an anomaly because the combine measurement was wrong.
What was his wingspan?
At the combine, it was 32 5/8.
Wingspan, not arm length.
So here's the thing about wingspan.
Wingspan matters at left tackle.
I never once heard somebody talk about wingspan until it started coming up that his arm measurement was wrong. And these same people who they want their shiny new toy, they want a skill position player, they can't deal with drafting a lineman. They needed something else to grab onto. So now it was his wingspan's too short. Look, I'm not saying it's a zero factor. I had never once heard somebody I'd heard arm length for tackles as long as I've been doing this. I'd heard arm length for tackles. I'll give you that one. I think that matters. I think it can be overcome, but I think it matters. You have to evaluate the player differently. I never once heard somebody bring up wingspan in relation to tackles until this year. And really until people started coming around on Campbell's arms actually being 33 inches in the NFL screwing up.
Yeah.
I've heard wingspan for receivers. I've heard wingspan for corners. I've even heard it for quarterbacks, because sometimes with quarterbacks you want shorter arms because a longer arm, the actual throw takes longer, right? You have more distance to cover. I had never heard it for linemen until after the combine this year.
Joe Tooney, 79-inch wingspan.
Yep.
Skoronski, 79.5-inch. Gray Zabel, 77.5-inch. Gray Zabel's in this draft.
Yeah.
Will Campbell, 77 and 3/8-inch wingspan. Trevor Sikkema of PFF put this out. Shortest wingspan of any offensive tackle at a combine since 2011. Now, Tristan Wirfs, 34-inch arms, 80-plus inch wingspan. Rashawn Slater, 33 on the dot, 80 and an 1/8-inch wingspan. Kelvin Banks, 33.5, 84-plus
But
inch.
if you get to the point where your arm's wide out, you're
already effed
lost.
either way.
You've already lost. So it should, I'm sure we can go. Here's the thing: is there correlation there? Go find me the hand size measurements for the kickers, and see if, I'm serious. Go find me the hand size. Did the guy with the smallest hands, who was a kicker, have a horrible career? And maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration. I understand that, but
a longer wingspan, there is a point of how difficult is it to get around you. Can you buy your quarterback 2.5, 3 seconds? And that's where the wingspan and the size matters. Like Arante Ursary, shorter arms for what you'd expect for someone of his stature, but he has that longer wingspan.
So again, I
bring up Tooney and Skoronski, especially left tackles kicked inside.
I just think if it really mattered, we would have heard more about it in recent years.
And that's fair on the other end.
The arm length thing I've heard. And I believe, and there's, again, if your arms are stretched all the way wide out, you've already lost. If he's losing because of his wingspan, he's not losing because of his wingspan. He's losing because his technique is messed up. Part of the reason he's as effective as he is with the shorter arms, not disqualifyingly short, but short, and this is where I say arm length matters, because you look at the player differently. Okay, how does he compensate? There are guys with long arms who don't know how to use their length too, right? He's really good footwork. He's quick. He's agile. He's fast to get out to that edge, so he can push the rusher back even if he maybe doesn't have the reach. So I'm not going to call him a unicorn. I guess if you want to, fine. I'm not going to call him a unicorn because of the wingspan, unless we're going to call the kicker with the short hands. Or maybe it's big hands that hurt kicking, because that's more weight. You have to balance differently. I don't know.
Too long of arms, Vidarian Lowe. Long arms, doesn't know how to use them.
Right, exactly. That's what it comes down to. And Vrabel said as much at the Combine. This isn't a unique take by me. Now, look, if you had 20-inch arms, that's one thing, right? But 33-inch arms, I think Rashawn Slater's also 33. He's 33.
He's 33.
He's 33. And did you get Penei Sewell's wingspan in there?
1 second. Penei Sewell, 33 and a quarter inch arms, 80 and 7/8 inch.
Okay,
wingspan.
so he's a bigger wingspan.
But that's what jumps out to me. Rashawn is 33 on the dot, 80 and an eighth of an inch. So Penei Sewell is 7/8 inch. Rashawn Slater's 80 and an inch and an eighth inch. And I understand how ridiculous the combo is. But it is. They're the guys with the short arms. What it is. And that's where he has to work at left tackle. And fine, let's go get away from the measurements, put your rulers away. A lot of people were saying, hey, that's an all-pro guard. Awesome. And I said on draft night, and I still hold it to this day, the team with the worst offensive line in football got the best offensive lineman in the draft.
Yes.
That's a good pick. But at left guard, who's their left guard, Barth? Week 1, and then who's their left guard week 8?
That's a bigger issue.
Because if it's Cole Strange, it may not be there. Is Layden Robinson going to make that leap in pass pro? Great run blocker.
Well, are they going to give him the opportunity? He was barely with the starters in the spring.
He would start, get benched. Yeah. And to your point, too, barely with them in the spring. The fact that there is actual serious conversations, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you are down there, you're in the trenches, you do an awesome job covering the team, that Jared Wilson is challenging Garrett Bradbury, the vet, for the starting center job. And we'll see how legit that is. Then at right guard's Mike Onwenu. And at right tackle, I love Morgan Moses. I loved his introductory presser. He's a pro. Partially, was it a sprained MCL he had last season, and he tried playing through it?
Yeah, that sounds right.
He got surgery
with his
on
knee.
that.
Yeah.
He is 34, about to be 35. He's played a lot of football. Who's the offensive line week 1? Who's the offensive line week 18? And because it became a game.
No, it did.
Before every game, first snap of offense, it's not what happens. It's who are the 5 guys out there on offense blocking for him, because that's what it was, and that spells a lot of potential trouble.
No, the continuity is a big part of it, and this was an issue for them last year. Like Dante Scarnecchia had this saying about 5 guys seeing it through the same set of eyes, and there's something to be said for, and look, injuries are going to happen, but you get the same 5 guys out there over and over and over, and they know where each other is going to be, and they can work well together. their tackle situation's not perfect. There are questions, even arm length aside, like just being a rookie. There's natural questions that come with that with Will Campbell. With Morgan Moses, because of his age, there's natural questions with that. Do you remember what we were doing, what we were talking about this time last year with the tackles? It was, okay, so, they drafted Caden Wallace, who's a career college right tackle, but they kind of want to move to left, but they also kind of might move Chuks Okorafor over, even though he's never played left tackle, but Mike Onwenu has to play right tackle because they paid him too much to be a guard. But then where do you put Chuks Okorafor, and is Vidarian Lowe going to factor in? And this whole time, they're starting right tackle all year. DeMontre Jacobs was a Denver Bronco. So we're so much further ahead. I was talking to Jake about this after the draft. I remember he asked me, do you think their offensive line, what do you think of their offensive line? I said, I think they're going to be significantly better. He goes, wow, they're going to be that good, huh? I said, no.
They were the worst offensive line in the league.
The gap from, and not just the worst in the league, it was historically bad. So I'm not saying they still have room to grow, and they weren't going to fix everything with the offensive line in 1 year. At least this year, going into camp, we know who the starting tackles are. And it's not this guy here, and then this guy goes here. But what if this guy kicks inside? And this guy's never played on the left side, but we're going to put him there. Right. It was a freaking mess. Real quick here, because we're up against it.
Yeah.
Player you're watching on defense.
It has to be, honestly, Harold Landry.
Okay.
Up there, you gave him a lot of money. This pass rush absolutely stunk. I like the pieces behind him. I like a Braden Swinson. I'm excited to see what he does.
Yep.
Love the interior guys with the Joshua Farmer. Lone bright spot for FSU this season. I think Keon White can take a jump. There needs to be a pass rush, especially in Terrell Williams' system. Man defense, rush for Robert Spillane cleans everything up. Harold Landry needs to be worth that contract. As Curran was talking about on Wendell and Duggar, Harold Landry needs to be worth it.
Yeah, I think Keon White kind of in that same breath.
Yeah.
Right? And he's going to be going up against Campbell, so we're going to be watching a lot of him. But... Yeah. Can he be that guy? It's a much better fit for him schematically. But the guys I'm going to be watching, I'm going to go back to Curran's clip there. Kyle Duggar and Jabril Peppers.
Yep.
When those two guys are both fully healthy, that's one of the best safety duos in the league.
Yeah.
Neither of them, I know Duggar had his legal stuff, even around that.
Peppers' legal stuff.
Peppers had his legal stuff. Even around that, he was never fully healthy last year. Duggar, it never felt like he was fully healthy last year. He missed time this spring, still getting healthy. If those guys are full go, now you put them with Gonzalez and Carlton Davis and Marcus Jones in the slot. Like that's a real freaking secondary, man. That's a great group. If they're going to have to kind of stretch it along with those guys this year, and now it's Craig Woodson in a bigger role.
I'm excited to watch that.
I don't. It's nothing against Craig Woodson. He's a rookie. You don't know. And now it's Jalen Hawkins playing significant snaps. Marcus Epps coming out.
Pettis is getting hype.
Right. Like, if those two starting safeties are healthy, it changes a lot. So I'm going to be watching those two. Yeah, I'm going to be watching those two guys to see how well they're moving. Also, we maybe get to watch a player that's not on the team right now, Terry McLaurin, the latest. We'll discuss that next after George gets caught up on the headlines. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji in for Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Red Sox dropped Game 1 out of the All-Star break, 4-1 to the Chicago Cubs. Lucas Giolito, 5.
Quick, smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Bert, what are we hearing is back. So what are you hearing about the Patriots' interest in trading for Terry McLaurin?
There's not a whole lot happening right now between the Commanders and McLaurin, which is part of why the frustration is what it is, and that there hasn't been much progress because there hasn't been much talk between the sides. And I think that's why Terry felt compelled to say what he said publicly. And this is a guy who has been a team captain for a long time. Exemplary character, all of that. So my anticipation is that the Commanders are going to take a swing at getting something done with him over the course of the next week, just because it makes too much sense for both sides. I think the Patriots would be very interested in this. Now, there's a price point for all of it, and what would that mean? And, obviously he's not going to come here with an unresolved contract situation, so you'd be talking about a draft pick plus a contract. He's a little older than people realize because he was a 5-year college guy, so he's over 30 now. But, certainly as far as like what they're looking for from a person, from a player, helping Drake, like this guy checks every box.
Thanks, guys. My guy.
A little 50, bringing us in. I want to get back to the Patriots and get back to Terry McLaurin, but if you missed it earlier, we were talking best sports nicknames, because my theory, not even a theory, it's true. My thesis is that there's no good sports nicknames anymore. Everything's just initials and jersey numbers, and the days of the answer and the truth and the GOAT and big unit, right? That kind of thing. We lost our creative bone when it comes to the sport nicknames. So we had a bunch of calling earlier. If you want to call in, 617-779-0985. Phil has been waiting very patiently with a couple nicknames. Phil, what do you got?
Hey, Barth, love listening to you, man. It's great when you fill in.
Appreciate it.
I apologize if this one's already been brought up, but my personal favorite has always been the late, great Jared Lorenzen, the hefty lefty.
Yes. Thanks for the call, Phil. I brought some of those up. That's like the first repeat we've had. We were saying this during the break.
I was amazed by that. And I love that the repeat is a great nickname.
And it's a guy that had the hefty lefty, the Pillsbury throw boy, the round mounded touchdown, the abominable throw man. Had so many nicknames.
Real quick. Okay, cool. I pulled it up.
Yeah.
More nicknames than games played. He played
Lorenzen?
4 games in his NFL career.
Well, then he went to the Arena League and he co-owned a team and dominated.
Just a man that loved to drink beer, hefty lefty, Pillsbury throw boy.
He was good in college too. Like he was really good at
Kentucky. Yeah, he ripped it.
They kind of started it was one of the early iterations of the air raid with Hal Mummy, and I don't remember if Mouse Davis was on that staff. There's a whole football history there that we can do another time.
Steve McNair, he definitely had Air McNair as his nickname.
Yeah. Yes, Air McNair. So that's, again, even though his name is in it, it wasn't SM9, Air McNair. That's a good nickname. Shady McCoy. You can do it with the name in it.
I'm going to now start. So Ed Reed, most well-known nickname, Ball Hawk. That's fine. He was also known as Speedo Killer.
I've never heard those.
Quick.
So are you on Sports Reference? Are you on Football Reference?
I'm just Googling players' names to see if they have good ones, because now I'm thinking of the great Ed Reed.
Wait, was I on with you or Skaz? Was this me and you? Was I on alone for this when we talked about the Sports Reference nicknames and Bradley Beal being Big Panda?
Yeah, there were some weird ones
Magic.
in there.
They throw anything in there. Big Panda?
Blue Magic for Bradley Beal. It doesn't count. You can go into sports. Blue Panda.
Oh.
Or no, sorry, Big Panda and Blue Magic.
Blue Magic, the drug from American Gangster?
I have no idea. So you can go in and find those. I'm talking about that guys were actually called.
That's what the Ed Reed nicknames I was reading.
Yeah, that.
Like Speedo. What?
No.
Speedo Killer? That's just weird.
I don't know about that. Anyway.
I don't want to know.
That clip you heard before we got it. Again, you want to get back into sports nicknames, we'll go there. 617-779-0985. We do have open phone lines. We'll get you right on. That was Albert Breer earlier this week on NBC Sports Boston talking about Terry McLaurin. The Patriots would be interested if he became available. Now, I don't think he's going to become available. It would be organizational malpractice for Washington to let him out the door. Yes, he's a 30-year-old receiver. Generally, it's not great paying those, but when you have a quarterback you're trying to develop like Jaden Daniels, you do what's best for him, even if it's maybe not the best deal in the long term. So I don't think he's getting out of Washington. if he does, George, what would you be willing to give up?
Second round pick.
No first?
That's going to be a high first. And
well, if you get McLaurin, you shouldn't be picking in the top 10.
You'd be winning 12 games.
You shouldn't be picking in the top 10.
I think you can get it done with a second round pick. You throw in a future third, something along those lines. He would be someone that'd be vital, and he does match the window of this team.
Yeah.
Where, yes, he's about to be 30. I think he turns 30 in September. 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons. His rookie year where he just missed it, like 920 receiving yards. Has not missed a game since 2020. Is a run-blocking receiver, really good route runner, good with the ball in the air, good downfield, good over the middle, good outside the numbers. And my big thing with him, Barth, I know I have friends that work in D.C. My co-host Trav, he worked in D.C., covered the Commanders. And I think the fact that I knew this, but I double-checked my D.C. people, but I knew it before, he is so well-liked around the league.
Yeah, because he's not like... I was kind of mocking Patriots fans a little bit during the DK Metcalf stuff because I get calls, he's too much of a diva, he's bad in the locker room. Why do you want that guy? He's white, right? And I kept saying, Larry Fitzgerald's not walking through the door.
Yeah.
You want a great receiver nowadays, you got to put up with a little bit of personality, but Terry McLaurin, maybe he is a little Larry Fitzgerald. She's not that level of player. Larry Fitzgerald's first ballot Hall of Famer. You asked me earlier, best wide receivers of all time. Larry Fitz isn't one, but he's not too far after one.
Especially with the quarterbacks he played with.
Right. But that same kind of head down, go to work mentality.
And it's not that not only that, he's beloved. It's not hey, I love Terry because he works hard. It is like that guy is so well respected and revered. You get him around a Kyle Williams. We've heard the reports, like Jeremy Fowler of ESPN saying everyone in the Patriots place loves how committed he is.
Yeah.
They're calling him a professional. Another guy I'm going to watch is Kyle Williams. He plays bigger than he is, but he's bigger than he's listed at. That's a big receiver, and I like him at the catch point. But you put a Terry McLaurin around a Kyle Williams, that's what, he would work with this window of Drake May, because I think next season and the season after, that's when we see the fruits of the labor. That's when we see them being serious contenders in the postseason. But then down the line, where Kyle Williams, we could look back as like a foundational draft piece to rebuilding the wide receiving room. Terry McLaurin would be a big part of that working out long term too.
So I wouldn't give up a first. I don't think you need to. I wouldn't anyway. 30-year-old receiver. I go back to the package that they were reportedly going to give up for Brandon Ayuk last year. I look at the package that DK Metcalf went for this year. It's a second-round pick.
And you got to pay him.
It's an early day 3 pick. Another day 3 pick, maybe a future day 3 pick, and a player, Kendrick Bourne, Kayshon Boutte. Washington's probably going to want a player back because the rest of their receiver room is terrible. And then, like you said, it's going to come with the contract. I was on with Felger yesterday. He brought up $90 million over 3 years, 50 guaranteed. Yeah.
I think it might be 55 just to beat his last number, but yeah, I would do it.
Is that okay? So
he got $53 million guaranteed with his last contract.
How many years was that, though?
That one, I believe. Let me look it up.
So, because 55 guaranteed over 4 and 50 guaranteed over 3 is still an improvement, even though the number's not as big because you have that year. But, yeah, second, fourth.
3 years, $68 million, 53 total guaranteed, 34 at signing. I love talking.
So, 3 years, 90, 55.
Fine.
Done.
Now, what's looming, though, now you give him the 55 total guaranteed. Now there is a theory that, hey, they have $60 million in cap, they have the most in the NFL, but they're getting ready to pay Christian Gonzalez because what we saw with Sauce Gardner.
They should still be able to do it.
After Gonzalez, Drake May will be due up at that point too.
Well, the beauty of it is if you sign Terry McLaurin a 3-year deal, he's assuming you pay May on his 5th-year option, which they would if he's good enough, which he should be. Terry McLaurin would come off the books just in time for you to pay Drake May.
Agree.
So
that's right. I don't want to hear excuses of rollovers.
No. You'd have to balance him and Gonzalez. Well, so remember, if they paid Gonzalez, even if they paid him, I think if I'm doing the math right in my head, which odds are I'm not, but if I am, yeah. So Gonzalez on his rookie contract for 2 more years. So he's extension eligible next year, but the extension does not mean ripping up the rookie contract. The extension kicks in after. So you would still have Gonzalez for 2 more years. So the first year, the final year of Terry McLaurin's deal would be the first year of Gonzalez's deal.
Perfect. And then you're going to be paying Christian Gonzalez, and the next year will be Drake May kicking in, or 2 years after that.
Yeah. And even if it's
the money works.
Right, and even if it's 3 years, 55 guaranteed, that's going to be front-loaded.
What it comes down to is the willingness for ownership to pay more cash, because that's what the guaranteed money is. What do the Cincinnati Bengals pride themselves on, which is the softest thing in the world? We have the least amount of dead money in the NFL. Great. You guys are about to waste Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But if you are ownership for the Patriots and you're serious about Drake May, and with everything that Mike Vrabel says, respect the team, I'll respect you. What you put into the team, I bring back. The reports of, for him, it's connectivity, it's effort, it's finish. That's what they're saying about Mike Vrabel. Terry McLaurin is the poster wide receiver for everything that Mike Vrabel talks about. And he's a number one receiver. He'd be the bona fide number one. And he would also alleviate pressure on Kyle Williams, Stephon Diggs, those guys to perform. But he elevates the whole offense. And it's not just this year, it is the following years.
Patriot stuff is on the table. Do you want to see them trade for Terry McLaurin? What would you give up? 617-779-0985. I also see you guys lining up with sports nicknames. You want to get in on that? 617-779-0985. To your calls next. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji in for Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Maz here for Window Nation, and now you can get 50% off all window styles, plus no interest until 2030. Stop procrastinating on upgrading your home. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to take advantage of Window Nation's best deal of the year.
Hi, this is Bob Sosi, voice of New England football. You've heard me talk about ClearPath for Veterans and safety insurance. Now New Hampshire residents can also support our veterans and save on auto insurance. ClearPath for Veterans is working with safety insurance to help New England veterans at the resource centers in Devens, Massachusetts and Manchester, New Hampshire. Safety policyholders can make a $50 tax-deductible donation to ClearPath and earn a 5% discount on your safety automobile insurance. New Hampshire and Massachusetts residents can say thanks to those who serve and get rewarded. Visit safetyforvets.com.
When it comes to getting the guaranteed lowest price on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. And when it comes to getting more free services for life than anywhere else on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. So when you're in the market for the best deal on Falcon tires, get to Town Fair, because nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. And I mean absolutely nobody.
are the great sports nicknames? And I'll say this again. We've gotten some great ones tonight. You guys have been awesome. You crashed the phone screener at one point. I've never done that when I'm hosting. Not on the Sunday kickoff shows after the draft. Not after some of those brutal Patriots losses last year. The first ever time I filled in on Patriots postgame was that ridiculous lateral play against the Raiders. When Mac Jones got stiff-armed. Even then, I didn't crash the French phone screener. Y'all crashed it for me tonight. I truly appreciate that. And you're still coming. Best sports nicknames. And from all the ones we've heard, it's all retired players, which proves my point. There's no good sports nicknames anymore. It's all just initials and jersey numbers. There's no creativity. So if you can come up with a new one, too, we'll take those. Let's go to Mello and Gardner. Mello, what do you got?
Hey, guys. Hey. I actually got 3 for one player.
Okay.
Actually, he's retired, obviously. Vince Carter.
What do you...
Hackman, Half Amazing.
Yep.
Air Canada.
Yep.
And Vinsanity.
Yes.
Good ones.
And when he hit a 3 in a game, you'd get that VC3, but it wasn't his number.
Right. It was, yeah.
But that was, I remember Izod Center growing up to Nets games. Yeah. That's what you'd get. The last one's the best one, Vinsanity.
How about Linsanity?
Yeah, great nickname. And that was like 2 or 3 weeks in sports. It felt like 6 months.
That thing he had the entire world captivated. You had to live through Linsanity to understand what Linsanity was all about. I'm kind of surprised we haven't gotten the 30 for 30 on it, but I'll be interested to see if they do it justice. It's going to be tough. Matt in Rhode Island. Matt, what do you got?
Hey, what's up, guys? I think Travion Henderson, it might not be this year, but the way he blocks, catches passes, and runs the ball, I think he's going to be a top 5 back, but I would call him the Matrix. And what do you think about Woodson from Cal, Barth? How do you think he's going to fit in?
Thanks for the call, Matt. Henderson, it's a good point. I think he can be a really dynamic weapon for them on offense. I think it's going to be more quality than quantity. I don't think he's going to have like a massive bulk number of snaps because I don't think any running back will. Josh McDaniels is very careful about not overusing his running backs, but I'm excited for him. Craig Woodson, I didn't love that pick, admittedly. There were safeties I had ranked higher left. Billy Bowman was one from Oklahoma. But he had a really good spring. The kid just has a knack for being in the right place at the right time. We'll see if he still does that when these practices get a little faster when the pads come on. But usually with the safety, that's the first thing I look for. It's obviously football instincts are good anywhere. But on the defense, a safety that just kind of knows how to get himself to the football and is regularly around the football and regularly around the play. That's what I'm looking for above all else, and he was doing that this spring. So I'm encouraged. Again, we'll see if he does it when things speed up in padded practices and joint practices in the preseason, but I liked what I saw from him this spring.
I think with where they took him at that spot, and I accompany it with Mike Vrabel saying how important the nickel position is, the nickel cornerback position.
Yeah.
That's where I think he ends up playing. I think he's a coverage slot receiver. He had a lot of versatility when he was at Cal. There's a high IQ, the character that comes out. But I think that's a guy that can play that deep safety role. He can play in the flat. He can line up in the nickel. He can play man. He can play zone. I'm intrigued by him. When it comes to Travion Henderson, and you hit on it, it's not just Josh McDaniels. I don't care who RB1 is. If Travion Henderson's cap is 13 touches a game in the NFL, but he's explosive, and he's giving you something like what a Jahmyr Gibbs is. Jahmyr Gibbs is fantastic. I'm not going to make that comp. But the fact that he can run routes well, he can line up in the slot, he can pass block, he can catch, and he's a good downfield runner, makes guys miss in space. But when he was best at Ohio State is when he was having 11 touches a game. Touches, not carries. Touches.
And that number...
I don't need him to be a bell cow.
No, and that number needs to come up a little bit from 11. But again, they got Quinshon Judkins in the transfer portal, and it kind of unlocked them. And they've run Ramondre Stevenson into the ground the last couple years. I've been big on this, that he was good early, but they gave him too many carries. It wore him down late. He was hurt. It impacted him. He was top in the league in carries 3-4 weeks into the season last year. Look, I get somebody has to lead that. It should not be a member of the Patriots.
Especially with
or number of touches, sorry, not carries, touches.
Well, go back, what was 2022? He led the team in receptions with 69.
Yeah, and he
carries.
And he had that fumble at the end of the year against the Bengals, and he mentioned he was hurt. He was playing hurt. Because in the modern NFL, these defenders are bigger, faster, stronger. You really, unless you're Derrick Henry.
Yep.
It's really hard to be a 300-touch player. It just, physically, the toll it takes, it wears you down too much.
What got Saquon Barkley finally healthy? Space with the receivers and 2 all-pro caliber tackles.
That's right.
And a really good middle offensive line.
George is going to get you caught up on the headlines, and then I see you guys waiting up on the phone. Mark, Justin, Mike, we'll get to you in a second. 90 seconds, no commercials here on the Sports Hub.
From the Telstra Tire Studios, WBZ FM HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Boston Red Sox returned from the All-Star break with a 4-1 loss to the Chicago Cubs. That snapped their 10-game winning streak, but they remain in the number 2 wildcard spot in the AL. Lucas Giolito, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. Roman Anthony, the lone RBI on the day for the Red Sox. He went 1 for 3 at the plate, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout as well. Game 2 of the series, tomorrow night, 7:15 first pitch. Brian Bay over Shota Imanaga on the mound. According to Adam Schefter, Patriots reached an agreement on a fully guaranteed deal with second-round pick Travion Henderson that now locks up their entire 2025 draft class. And the head of the NFLPA, Lloyd Howell, has resigned after an audit discovered he expensed 2 separate strip club visits on the Players Association, one of those running up $2,400 in charges. According to the expense report, the purpose of the outing was player engagement event to support and grow, quote, our union. A former Celtic star, Terry Rozier, is under investigation after a professional bettor placed 30 wagers on him, all involving unders in a 2023 game. All 30 bets won after Rozier exited the game 10 minutes in, citing a foot issue. And the New England Revolution are back on the pitch tomorrow night facing Orlando. Match starts at 7:30. Catch all the action right here on the Sports Hub. The Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law.
Seven 779-0985. We talked some Red Sox, talked some Patriots, and we've been talking the best nicknames in sports because there's no good ones anymore. Let's face it. The creativity is gone. I had somebody tweet at me earlier. He thinks where was this? T-Bow, not T-Bone, like we have from 10 to 2. T-Bow, T-B-O-W, thinks there's 2 reasons why there's no more good nicknames. One, newspapers are irrelevant. Were newspapers coming up with nicknames? Maybe some.
They had to. I think everything came with something that'd be in print. Like, long story short, Seton Hall got its mascot, the Pirates, because they came back, big comeback win in baseball, bottom of the 9th. And in the headline it said they stole the game like a bunch of pirates. And that's what gave a random school in New Jersey nicknamed the Pirates. Newspapers definitely did.
That's one of the rumors how Ithaca got theirs, too. And then his second reason, this one feels true. All play-by-play guys are boring-ass Syracuse bots with zero personality or originality.
Totally 1,000% accurate.
that
Syracuse guys, I have so many good friends who went to Q's.
Yeah.
Let
him hear it.
I remember whenever I would intern, there'd be a guy from Syracuse or a guy from Penn State, and they would have this edge. And look, they're thoroughbreds coming out of there.
Yeah.
But my edge, my chip on my shoulder at Seton Hall is like, F you guys.
Well, we were down the street. Where'd you go to school? Upstate New York. Broadcast. Oh, you went to Syracuse? No. Or like, oh, I went to Ithaca. Oh, you want to go to upstate New York? Why didn't you want to go to Syracuse? Because I wanted to actually like do stuff and not be just kind of behind the scenes till I was a senior. But we're putting on a good show without any Syracuse guys. We got Ithaca, Seton Hall. Jake back there went to Arizona State.
Cronkite's great.
Skaz, I actually forget where you went to college.
Bridgewater State. Jeremy Conley, a couple Bridgewater State guys.
South Shore, baby.
Presenters of 5 questions that have nothing to do about sports.
My guy Mike Eamon, Bridgewater alum too, does a great job of Carabas and Underdog.
Also, I don't think she graduated. Once attended by, right? Jordan Hudson?
Yeah, she was a cheerleader there, I believe.
Did she graduate?
After my time, I should say.
We'll get to Jordan Hudson a little bit.
She's got a master's degree in getting the bag.
We'll get to the Bill Belichick documentary in a little bit. A couple more sports nicknames here. Justin and Lowell. Justin.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
I don't know if anybody said this already. I just kind of tuned in the last hour, but also, to you guys' point, another retired player.
Yep.
But Gilbert Arenas, Agent Zero, also known as Hibachi. He might have had a couple others, I'm not sure, but definitely no good nicknames like that anymore. So that's really all I got. Thank you guys for taking my call.
Thanks for calling, Justin.
I forgot about Hibachi. That's a great
I don't
one.
remember that one.
Yeah, that was a
that
Gilbert
nickname for him.
Arenas.
That's a good nickname. Hibachi's a good nickname.
Agent Zero was cold.
Agent Zero was great.
Zero's a great number in basketball, but he was Agent Zero.
Agent Zero. You kind of brought it up in passing, but we hadn't had that. It's insane. Not just how many calls we've gotten on this, and again, I appreciate all of them. There's been like no repeats,
which is fantastic.
Which shows we used to be, as a society, we used to be able to come up with a ton of great nicknames, and now we can't come up with any, and it sucks.
This one's kind of, but a Cooper Flag. I don't know if anyone said
The
this.
main event.
The main event.
Great nickname.
Good
So
nickname.
there's a good modern nickname for you. Cooper Flag, the main event. Great nickname.
Look at that. He's bringing the world back.
Maybe Cooper Flag is, I shouldn't say the answer, but maybe Cooper Flag is going to get us out of this.
Wait, so I have two groups now.
Yeah.
During the break, I told you Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Brandon Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw, Derek Ward. I'm sorry, Patriots fans. Look, I grew up a Pats fan, 2007.
Well, and then they had the NASCAR defense, too.
Yeah, NASCAR defensive line, that package. Also, the 84 Bulls, Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Traveling Bulls Cocaine Circus. That was the nickname.
I don't know if I've ever heard
Right
that.
before Jordan got there, he saved that franchise.
And then I also brought Run TMC. Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, Chris Mullen.
Run DMC, Darren McFadden.
Run Darren. Great. That's a good name. And it's initials, but there's more to it. There's a little more to it. It's not the most creative one of all time.
Run
that was a good one.
CMC, Christian McCaffrey.
Well, so that's just copying.
But
if that's the best we can do, the bar should be a little higher. The main event might be the best nickname in sports right now.
Showtime, Shohei Ohtani.
That's fine.
I think the main event's better. Akil Carr. Big-time recruit out of Baltimore, Maryland, was committed to Seton Hall, ended up just going playing pro ball. Crime Stopper. Because whenever he played high school basketball, he was so good. Everyone would go watch him play.
See, that's an awesome nickname. There's lore. There's lore behind it. That's what you need in a good nickname. And you gotta have a story behind it.
I have boys from Baltimore, and they told me, they were like, yeah, that was legit.
Crime Stopper. That's
Akil Carr.
a good one.
Bucket.
That's a good one. Mark and Hingham. Mark, what do you got?
Hey, good afternoon or good evening, fellas. Most cool, I think, nicknames come from boxers, but they give them to them by themselves. But Boom Boom Mancini sounds to me pretty cool.
I like
and
that.
thanks to Warren Zevon for making a good tune out of it.
But there's a bunch of good boxing ones. We have an Iron Mike Tyson.
Boom. I was just thinking that.
What other, I'm trying to think. I know there's others.
Oh,
but
who's the microwave in basketball? Something Johnson. But the microwave, because you'd come off the bench, heat up quick, hit some threes.
Well, that was a perk in 2K. Vinnie Johnson.
Yep, that's it. Vinnie Johnson, the microwave.
That's a good one. There's a little bit behind that.
Sugar Ray Robinson.
Floyd
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Money Mayweather.
Floyd Money Mayweather.
The Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, the Golden
What
Boy.
was
Canelo Alvarez. So that's cinnamon in Spanish.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a good one.
Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, you hate that.
That's
Triple
okay.
G.
Tyson Fury's the Gypsy King, I believe.
So that's a good one.
That one.
That's a good one. And in boxing, you got to have like a good, intimidating. It's not boxing. Why can't I think of his name? UFC.
George St. Pierre, GSP. No, you hate that.
That's a bad. Oh, John's Bones.
Anderson Silva
was
the
his
Spider, I think.
That's a good one.
Patty the Batty.
Bones Jones, Rampage Jackson.
Yes.
That's not Conor McGregor. I don't know why I couldn't think of Conor McGregor's name. He must have had one, right?
The Spider. That's Anderson Silva.
Did McGregor not have one? I can't think of it. I could have sworn he did. It was like on the
Mystic Mac. Oh, the Notorious. Notorious.
Yeah,
that was his
it doesn't
walkout
count.
song.
That's just your name was that's okay.
The Notorious. That was
But it wasn't
his nickname.
Notorious. His nickname wasn't Notorious. It was
Yeah.
the Notorious Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
So that's a little different. Like they just call it Rampage. Actually, they call him Rampage. Like that's a good nickname. And since we're starting to go in that direction, wrestling nicknames don't count because that's like the whole. It's nothing against wrestling.
In or out wrestling.
I have no problem with wrestling, but not wrestling stage names aren't nicknames. That's different, right? Like Rey Mysterio, super cool name. That was his name as a wrestler. Triple H, like cool name. That was his name as a wrestler. That maybe if there's a wrestler that had a nickname, so The Undertaker, right? The Dead Man.
Great.
The Dead Man is a good. The Undertaker doesn't count as a nickname. The Dead Man counts as a nickname, and it's a good one.
My favorite wrestler growing up. I went to SmackDown Live when I was in college. Never thought I'd say that sentence. Awesome live. So real. Great crowd environment. I got another good one. Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne Bleeder, because he did so many street fights in Bayonne, New Jersey before he became a professional boxer. The Bayonne Bleeder.
So that's a good one. Randy Orton, Legend Killer. So don't give me.
I hate Randy Orton.
Don't give me the wrestler's name, but if you want to give me a wrestling one, it has to be like a nickname for the nickname. We'll throw that caveat.
Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Have we said the Dream yet?
I don't think so. Mike and Peabody. Mike.
What's up, guys? I think I got two guys that are playing right now. Durant, he's got Slim Reaper and Durantula, and Donovan Mitchell, the Spider.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, those
Mitchell.
are good. Durant's been in the league now for almost 20 years.
Insane.
Or is he over 20 now?
No, I think it's around 20.
Was he? He might have been the 07 draft. So he's getting. No, he was in the draft where they traded.
Greg Oden draft. That might have been 06. 07, 08 was his first season.
Okay, so getting up on 20.
Rookie of the season, rookie of the year winner. Also insane with Durant, when you look every 4 or 5 seasons, his shooting percentage gets better.
Interesting.
His field goal percentage, purely, like his efficiency on the floor. At one point, he's 56% from the floor in 2022. Come on. Dude's just a bucket.
Matt in Boston. Matt, best sports nickname.
Hi, what's up, guys?
What's up?
I got 4 for you.
4, all right.
I just thought of some on hold. All right. So Ernie Els, Big Easy.
Sure.
The Ruben Hurricane Carter.
Yes.
I like that one. Big Hurt, Frank Thomas.
Yep.
And my last one is the law firm. Was that Ben Jarvis Green Ellis?
The law firm, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. That's right, Matt. Thanks
Bart's
for the call.
favorite football player of all time.
I mean, that's what a good sports nickname is. That's what it could. We don't have anything like that anymore. The law firm was creative. It was cool. It was fun to say. It fit. Because that's the so why is Donovan Mitchell called Spider or Spida? Because
I
some
think
guys
it's self-given.
Right. So some guys have a nickname because it's their Twitter handle. Self-given nicknames, no. Out.
B-ball Paul Reed with the 76ers.
That was kind of fun.
It's a good one though.
But if it's just this is his Twitter handle, no. What is the story behind Donovan Mitchell's Spider?
It's just long arms, his quickness from him playing at Louisville.
That's fine. I'm not saying it's a bad one.
His father initially gave him the nickname because of his defensive prowess, drawing comparisons to his Spider. Nickname stuck.
Not a bad one.
Wait, how? Come, Boston Celtic legend. How have you not said this nickname?
What?
The Time Lord.
Oh, that was a great one.
And he got it because he was late to his
introductory press conference in weird Celtic stores. He wasn't late. He was bending space and time. That's a great nickname. I'll react to that the same way I reacted to Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. The Time Lord. It should not have taken us 3 hours and 16 minutes to get to the Time Lord. And it wasn't Time Lord. It was the Time Lord. Well, it was both. Yes. There you go. Great nickname. Time Lord. But that was probably close to 10 years ago now.
No. Was he drafted that long ago, Rob Williams?
I mean, he was here on multiple contracts, wasn't he?
He got an extension.
It was 2018, so...
Whoa. We're close.
Yeah.
But that's
closer to 10 than 5.
Time Lord. And then
Time Lord is an excellent nickname.
It just adds to it. What's the story behind the nickname? I think adds so much
when
more.
When there's a good story behind it, or some sort of creative the way it's wound in, or if it's just really dumb. I don't think I can say his nickname without getting dropped. Rich Hill, Mr. Mountain, that's a good nickname.
Sadiq Bey has a great nickname too that I won't say on the air. But
yeah, well that one's there's certainly a lore behind that. But
D-Book, Poland Spring.
What's that one?
Not going to explain it.
Okay, all right. Mike and Clint, I've never heard that one. Mike and Clinton, Mike.
I got a couple good boxing ones for you guys.
Okay.
Roberto Duran went by Hands of Stone.
Yeah,
absolutely electric name. Bernard Hopkins had a couple, went by the Executioner and the Alien.
Great nicknames.
And last one here, NBA, but somebody probably said this, but the Glove, Gary Payton, underrated nickname.
Yeah, we had and it fits because he wasn't just randomly called the Glove. Defensive player is on you tight like a glove. There's a story behind it.
It's probably like how a player and opponent described him, and it clicked. Just like Shaq with Paul Pierce and the truth. Low key, Kevin Garnett's though the big ticket.
Big ticket's a great one.
I one of my favorite players growing up.
He was selling out buildings. That's what he was doing. We're still getting calls on these. This is awesome. 617-779-0985. If you're James, Mike, I see you in the phone. We'll get to you. We got to hit a break. I want to talk about this Belichick documentary that's coming up too. But hang tight. We will get to you. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Catches Law is more than a law firm. It's New England.
Puppets role, co-executive producer.
Yeah,
Jordan
something
Hudson.
like that.
Has to. And it's going to be...
She might even just be special thanks. Like the last name in the credits.
Special thanks, all 363 people Bill Belichick names in his book, none of it Robert Kraft. But that's what it's going to be. And episode 1 will be Belichick at camp. We're going to get, episode 1, we're going to get that Jordan intro. Who's the support of the head coach.
They'll go back to his hiring, and they probably have some stuff shot from that they can use. Like, clearly they were interested in doing something like this, so the athletic department may have shot stuff that it can hand over.
But episode 3, she's going to have a dedicated episode. I guarantee it. It's going to
It's got to be early, because once you get in, if she's still heavily involved once we get into the football, and I don't know, so it doesn't, does it say here when this will release?
It was just light details from when I saw it first.
Right, there's not that much. So is this something that they're going to play the game on Saturday, we'll get the new episode on Thursday, or is it going to be one of these ones like Last Chance U used to be, where they play the season and then we get it in the spring, the whole thing?
I feel like the latter with how late this deal got done. Either way, it's going to be interesting. But if they want to, so to your point though, all right, if stuff goes awry and it goes sideways, but Belichick still lets the cameras hang around, that's going to be appointment television. If he wins, still appointment television for people to tune in. But can't you see it I'm sorry, maybe I'm being an a-hole, but I picture episode 4, it's just Real Housewives of Chapel Hill vibes.
You don't think maybe she's... Because she has been lower profile.
No, Barth.
You don't think since the CBS thing we've seen a little less of Jordan?
No. I think...
objectively,
yes, we
have.
No, we have.
But you don't think she learned a lesson? You just think maybe it's that time in the calendar. There's not that much going on.
There is... That type
somebody's, posting a lot on Instagram.
Yeah, and the weird
summer's usually when you blow up with that.
Belichick punching her in the leg, clearly staged.
I did see that the other day.
So cringe.
That was rough.
That age, that delusional confidence she has, and an enabler like Bill, it's going to be
I will say
theater.
punch buggy as an activity is probably the age group that does that is probably closer to 74 than 24. I don't think kids do punch bug because they're on their. I don't want to sound like an old man. They're on their phones in the car. Jake, you just graduated college. Jake, I don't know if you can. Jake, you hear me? Dude, people still do punch buggy on road trips and stuff. Is that still a thing? Punch buggy blue.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that is. I would have think kids aged out of that because they're just on their phones in the car.
No, people do that.
All right, I'm wrong. I'm not in touch with the youth. That's my fault.
I'm going to Zapruder film that. He definitely did it, and she was like, "What's that?" And then he explained. She's like, "Let me get my phone and record."
It's cute. Let's get on social. I think I don't know. I think you're overestimating it a little bit, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised. I think it's going to be what, like you said.
Yes.
There's going to be. We'll call it the Jordan episode. It's going to be like Bill Belichick behind the scenes, his day to day. And then once they get into the football, they'll do the football. I don't think she should be in every episode.
The reason Jake was slightly distracted there, I'll take credit for it. He had never read Ethan Albright's letter to John Madden before, I'm telling him to read it right now.
I am correct in saying the kids are missing out on fun things. That is Ethan Albright's letter to John Madden and Dougie's Going Deep Tonight are two of the great, and I don't think we can read either one on the air, are two of the greatest pieces of internet content ever produced.
Just to make this even better, I'm reading this on the 24/7 Sports account for South Carolina.
Yeah, I don't think the original post exists
fantastic.
anymore. So I need you to read that. And have you seen Dougie's Going Deep Tonight, Jake? Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
All right, so we got half an hour in the show. I'm going to give you a little homework here. I want you to read the Ethan Albright letter. I want you to read Dougie's Going Deep Tonight. And we're going to come back probably after the break, and you're going to tell us which one you liked better because they are both all-timers. So we're going to have George read the headlines. We're going to go to a break. I see you guys on the line here. If you want to call in, Best Sports nickname 617-779-0985. Best Sports nickname Ethan Albright. Dougie's Going Deep Tonight. We'll get to it all coming up here after these headlines from George Balekji on the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Red Sox welcomed back the second half of the MLB season with a 4-1 loss to the Chicago Cubs. Lucas Giolito, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. Roman Anthony with the This is my humor. All of this. This is my humor.
Two of the best pieces of content I've ever seen. Great. And look, it's perfect. We're split. George and Jake are going with Dougie's going deep tonight. Me and Skaz are taking the Ethan Albright letter, but they're both just so good. All right, let's wrap up the night with some of your calls. Theme of the night, best sports nicknames, because there's no more good ones. It's all lazy initials and jersey numbers. Nobody actually puts any work in any of these, except the main event is good. I'll give you the main event. The main event, current nickname, good. And like new current nickname, not Durant, who's Kevin Durant, Slim Reaper, who's been in the league for 20 years. Current good nickname, the main event, Cooper Flag. But just about everyone we've gotten has been a retired player. Mike in Florida, who do you have?
All right, I got 4, and I'll be real quick with you. The first one is, and this is dating back a little bit, Andrew Toney was the Boston Strangler.
Okay.
Charles Barkley, the round mound of rebound.
Yep.
You got Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder, and then you got Jason Williams, White Chocolate.
Yeah.
It's 10:41. We've been on since 7 o'clock. We're just now starting to get repeats. That shows you how many good sports nicknames there used to be. Well, in the same time, we're getting no current ones. None. We need to be better about this as a society. James in the car. James.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Sorry if I have any repeats. This is a great show. It's one of the best shows I've heard in a while. So just like, you remember that scene from The Sandlot? Everyone knows that scene where they're yelling at the kid, "Oh, the great Bambino!" You don't know. You know, everyone had that moment with their friends, like open them up to something new in life. You know, so like sports lore, like nicknames. It's just great. So I got Randy Johnson, the big unit, just winning Cy Youngs and blowing birds up on the field. You got Jerome the Bus Bettis.
Yeah.
Oh, the bus. How have we not gotten to the bus?
Mean Joe Green.
Ozzie Smith, the Wizard.
Yep.
Pistol Pete Maravich.
Oh, I don't think we said Pistol Pete.
We didn't.
Big Baby. Glenn Davis.
Big Baby Glenn. What
you got White Mamba.
Mamba.
James locked and
James,
loaded.
great. Big Baby. And then him and Nate Robinson were Donkey and Shrek.
Were they?
That was a thing when they were here together.
How? So what he started is called Babe Ruth. Babe. That wasn't his name.
No, but I think that's one of those ones he had as a kid.
Again, Great Bambino.
The Great Bambino would be a
go
good
any
one.
route with that.
No, there was one other one. What was the other one he said that I got excited about? The bus.
Jerome Bettis, the bus.
Big. We're black and yellow, like a school bus. That was a perfect nickname.
Do you consider like Lefty a nickname for like Phil Mickelson?
Yeah.
Like is Tiger a nickname?
So Tiger's not, because he was called that like from when he was a kid.
Yeah, I would agree with
so
that.
It's a nickname, but not a sports nickname. Lefty is a sports nickname, but it's not a great one. Like, it's fine. It's not bad. Right? We're not calling him PM. Actually, he wears all black and his initials are PM. There's probably something there we could have worked with.
For who?
That we just didn't. For Phil Mickelson.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, no, Johnny Cash was the man in black, right? Because he always wore black. That's a musician.
Andy Dalton, Red Rifle.
Red Rifle, good one. That's a good one. He's got red hair.
Love the play on the look, especially the color hair. Got to own it.
That's a good one. Red Rifle. Dave in the car. Dave.
Hey, guys, this one goes back a little while. Not sure if you've heard it, but what about the Raiders drafting the offensive lineman from University of Washington, Lincoln Kennedy, the Oval Office?
Wow. I've never heard that. That's a great nickname.
Especially for an offensive lineman.
That for an offensive lineman. I thought he was going to say, we didn't say for the Raiders, Jack Tatum, the assassin, but the Oval Office.
Janikowski, the Polish cannon, right?
Oh! Legend. Good one. Wasn't there another one? Wasn't there a guy who had like, Sam Adams. What was Sam Adams' nickname? The defensive tackle. He had one. I can't. But there was another guy who had a nickname like the President.
Gilbert Brown, defensive tackle for the Packers. Gravedigger.
Gravedigger. That's
massive
a good one.
Human, and he had a huge neck roll. Huge human.
No, but there was. I forget. There was a guy who had like two.
President, right?
Who?
Reggie Bush, wasn't he?
Reggie Bush was one.
What was his nickname?
President Bush. Oh. Well, because that was the time. But no, there was a guy whose name was like
I never heard that one.
Quincy Washington or something.
Yeah,
like that.
so you got President Quincy.
He was the president. I that just reminded me of another one though. Packer. What was Reggie White? Minister of Defense, right?
Is that Reggie White?
Was he Minister of Defense? It was something of defense.
I just had one and I forgot it.
Yeah, Minister of Defense, Reggie Whiten, because he was like a minister. He was a Christian leader. Minister of Defense, great nickname. New York Sack Exchange is a good one. There's some good pass rushes. I'm trying to think of more pass rush
Purple People
nicknames.
Eaters.
What?
Purple People Eaters.
Purple People Eaters, but individual ones too.
Famous Jameis Winston.
That's a good one.
Famous Jameis.
Little bit of a leaning on the name. Well, that was Jake Answorth.
But you'll still take it.
We'll still take. I can't believe we're still.
You can't hate on nicknames.
You can on the current ones. They suck.
Yes, if you hate on BHJ, BTJ, MHJ, Shay, bop, 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 you can't hate on Famous Jameis. You can't hate on Famous Jameis.
How we see his mic's off? How are we hearing him? All right, whatever. All right, Jake in the car. You're up soon, but first we're gonna go Oliver and Easton. Oliver.
I got two for you here. One doesn't really apply anymore, but in college, Charlie McAvoy was called Chucky Bright Lights because he always came through in the clutch.
Okay. I like that.
And then Bryson DeChambeau is called the Scientist. Then if you want to go football, the New York Sack Exchange.
Also, McAvoy Cheeks.
Cheeks. Well, that made me John Gruden. Chucky.
Yes.
Another coach one. Great coach one.
Belichick had the Emperor, but that didn't really stick.
He never hoodie.
The hoodie was honestly
the hoodie is probably the best Bill Belichick nickname. He never it's just Bill. He kind of was above nicknames. It was sort of just right. Belichick was its own.
Greatest football
There's
coach
this
of all time.
own connotation that came with that. He didn't need a nickname. Brian in Lancaster. Brian.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Pavel Bure, the Russian Rocket.
Who was it?
Russian Rocket, Pavel Bure.
That's a good one. Jake in the car. Jake.
Hey guys, sorry I missed some of the segments, so this might be a repeat. But Calvin Johnson was Megatron.
Yep, we had that one. All right, now we're starting to get some repeats.
3 hours and 47 minutes in. I love everyone that's called in. I love and keep calling in if you got them. Les Miles and Mad Hatter.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
So Odell Beckham Jr., I'm interested how you do this one. I called him ODB. He went by OBJ.
Nah.
He was ODB to me, Old Dirty.
I think I typed that in sometimes too. OBJ, that was the start of the lazy initials.
All the kids getting their hair cut like him. Now
great player.
Like him.
Great player.
One of the most best athletes ever on that.
Let's see. I want to end on a high note. We got to repeat. I see we got to get the call screened, but if we can get him through, maybe this will be our last one. See if we can end on a high note here. Now, OBJ, great player. That doesn't really do it for me. No. I'm trying to. There are some other good running back ones. Like MJD doesn't. That's not a good one. Ricky Running Waters. That's another Berman one.
Ooh.
Chris Berman one. All right, Ben in Cambridge. Take us home. End us on a high note. What do you got?
All right. Chuck the Iceman Liddell. I don't know if you've heard that one.
Yeah, good one.
Yes. And then a duo, Reggie Bush and Lindale White. Thunder and Lightning at USC.
The original Thunder and Lightning backfield, Ben. That's a good way to close it. The original Thunder and Lightning backfield. That's a good one. We could probably keep going. I bet there will be.
I got one more.
What do you got?
Mr. Unlimited.
No. We got to end on
nickname.
something better than that. We got to end on something better than that. That was brutal. We'll try to figure that out.
I'm trying to think like Janikowski, Time Lord, like melted our faces. We need like a face melting nickname.
We'll try to think of it during the break. Final segment coming up next. It's Alex Barth and George Balekji on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way.
That one?
Well, I don't remember what his nickname was.
The seventh floor crew there?
Greg. I don't know why my mind went to
Greg Olson from my hometown.
My mind went to Greg Oden. Yes, Greg Olson, 7th floor crew. G-Reg.
What's your name? G-Reg. Every 6th and 7th grader, because that's when it came out when I was growing up, was rapping those lyrics. Did we know what we were saying? No. Legend.
We lived on the 3rd floor in college in my sophomore year. We may or may not have borrowed that nickname.
Here's a good one. I'm now Googling
so now Peyton Manning, the sheriff, that's a good one. Okay. We didn't hit that.
Terrence Cody, Mount Cody, Alabama offensive lineman.
That's actually a good one. Oh, Pudge. Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge. Yeah. And I think that was Carlton Fisk, too.
Yes, it was. Pudge.
So that's just a catcher nickname. We mentioned Big Hurt. You talked about, we didn't say King James. I count that as a first name.
It's a lazy one. It's not a good one. It's not a good one.
Fine.
King James.
It's
branding.
Fine. What Mighty Mouse, Damon Stoudemire. That's a good one.
Is Kawhi the Claw?
The Claw, yep.
But
he's got
really
big hands. He's good defensively.
So
that's a good one. It should have caught on.
James Harden. The lone time I'll give Jimmy Harden credit. The beard.
The beard's a good one. But these are also guys from 20 years ago.
Russell Westbrook, his nickname being Brody, it didn't really catch on. That's one of
where did that come
It's
from?
probably his boys called him Brody.
I want to make sure we said the fridge, William Perry, the refrigerator. I thought we said that. Maybe we didn't. I saw some people on YouTube saying that. Obviously, that's a great one.
Oh, Sweet Feet, James White.
Oh, good one.
And that goes back to his Wisconsin days, Sweet Feet.
Yeah. Did you cover him there, or were you?
No, he was gone. But I was Jonathan Taylor time. Okay. Another great running, just awesome. The running backs you get.
JT though, that's not a
great dude though. Love Jonathan Taylor.
No, yeah, yeah. We might be out. Big Poppy. We didn't say so along the lines with King James. Air Jordan to me is the same thing.